Hey everybody, welcome to the show. How are y'all doing this evening?
Been a fun day.
Whoops.
Jim?
Are y'all there?
Alright, well, let's see. Who all's in the chat so far? We have Miss Ellie, Arby, Ford Truck Guy, Steve Miller, Sue Bear, Peter Vandervliet, Sparky, Justin B, Debbie, Kelly Fitzpatrick, Warren, Gia. Congratulations on the new car, Gia. Trinity McIntyre, Lori Marie, James Wigton, Jam and Jet, Breeside, Magmug, Carriod, Puffy Mummy, NCR, Dave. I think I got everybody. If I missed somebody, sorry about that, but everybody's welcome. Oh, we lost Jim.
He's having tech audio issues, and he'll be back.
Oh, alrighty. For tonight's show, we got a couple chili videos and Long Island audit video to go over.
Yes, we just got notified of the new court thing, and we have not had a chance to review it yet.
Which new court?
There is a new filing in Vegas.
Oh boy. Another one from Chile.
He's begging. Welcome back, Jim. Got it all fixed?
Thank you. That was weird. This was playing somehow on the live page for my site. And of course I couldn't figure out what tab it was on, so I was hearing Hank, then hearing Hank. With no no way to figure out which one it was playing on. So all fixed now.
Alrighty. Dan, you got any?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying if Dan had anything to put out other than he's not dead.
Chile's an idiot who is trying to use COVID as an excuse not to go to jail.
What?
Because of his susceptible age.
Wait, what?
He's not old.
Is that in the new filing?
Yep.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. He is getting desperate.
I definitely want to go through that filing now.
Page 5.
Oh God.
Page
I mean,
5. Page 5, line 4.
So do we want to?
Oh, most of it, before it gets to that, it's all just the standard blah, blah, blah. No, I really shouldn't. You should hear me out. I'm absolutely right. The court made a mistake. The judge is an idiot. The usual chili bag.
I thought he said that COVID wasn't real, and if it was survivable.
He did, and still does.
Justin B, I'm aware that she's having problems with the laptop. We're going to be calling Amazon in the morning to get it worked out. But yeah, we've been talking back and forth for about an hour before the show started.
And Steve, I've been showing off my lovely pair of boobies in the thumbnail. I realize one's a little bit bigger than the other, but I hear that's natural.
And that is the only pair of boobies that you're going to see during the show. They're in the thumbnail, Pope.
A nice pair of blue-footed boobies.
You did get a laugh out of my adult son in regards to that, though.
You know, I had
that's up to Dan.
What?
Sorry, go ahead. Mark would like to know if you're getting your boobies out, Dan.
No.
And what was that? Tim?
I thought I had a bad sinus headache before. After trying to read this new chili filing, I'm just ready to start drinking. And I don't drink.
Hank, in regards to the court filings, do we want to start back on the first one from the 16th or that we haven't gone over? Do you want to jump straight to the one from today?
Leave it up to the audience. If y'all want to go over the one we missed from the other day, have a 1 in the chat, 2 in the chat if you want to just skip it and go on to the current one.
There's actually 3. The one from the 16th. The one from... Hold on. The one from the 16th, the one from the 20th, and from the defendants, and then the one from today from Chile again.
The one from the defendants was kind of entertaining to read through because they bitch slapped him several times.
Okay.
Why don't we start off with the... Oh, we lost Dan. But let's start off with the filing from the defendants in the Vegas case.
From the 20th?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Cicero.
Defendant's opposition to plaintiff's emergency motion to reconsider a motion for preliminary injunction to stay state proceedings. Defendants hereby file in opposition to plaintiff's emergency motion to reconsider motion for primary injunction to stay state proceedings. Let's skip to the memorandum of points and authorities. Plaintiff filed an emergency motion for preliminary injunction to stay state proceedings on June 8, 2023. On June 12th, this court issued an order denying plaintiff's emergency motion for preliminary injunction. The next day, plaintiff filed his emergency motion to reconsider motion for preliminary injunction to stay state proceedings, ECF number 22. The defendants now respond to the reconsideration motion. Let me make it a little bigger. Federal law states that reconsideration is only permitted when there is a substantially new evidence or the decision is clearly erroneous. It is well established that a motion for reconsideration may not be used to raise arguments or present evidence for the first time when they could reasonably have been raised earlier in the litigation. Plaintiff has failed to articulate in his emergency motion to reconsider motion for preliminary injunction to stay state proceedings that there is a substantially new evidence present that would require the court's reconsideration, or that the court's decision was made erroneous. Instead, he merely reiterates the same arguments that have already been raised before the court and improperly mischaracterizes the law to fit such arguments. Accordingly, the court should deny plaintiff's motion for reconsideration. Jim, can you read this for me, please, for a second?
Right where you were, I was... Okay. Statement of facts. A. Relevant facts and procedural history. This is a 42 U.S.C. 1983 lawsuit in which the plaintiff alleges he was forcibly arrested while attempting to videotape a traffic stop. EACF number 2 at number 1, or at 1, plaintiff's Nevada state law criminal charges are currently pending in Nevada state court. ECF number 18 at 2, according to plaintiff, a preliminary hearing on the criminal charges was held on June 13, 2023. Prior to that hearing, plaintiff filed an emergency motion for preliminary injunction asking this court to stay the Nevada State Court criminal proceedings. B. The court's orders. The court issued its order denying plaintiff's motion for preliminary injunction on June 12, 2023, drawing on the Younger abstention doctrine, which require federal courts to abstain from interfering with state court criminal proceedings absent exceptional circumstances. Plaintiff's requested relief was to stay the June 13, 2023 hearing in state court. At this point, plaintiff's first hearing in the state criminal proceeding is past, and yet it appears the plaintiff's ability to assert his constitutional rights remains intact. As this court was recognized in its order, plaintiff makes continuous unsubstantiated claims that he will not be subjected to excessive force and even death in a corrupt jail, which plaintiff claims would make it impossible to raise constitutional challenges in his state case. See ECF number 19 and 22, 3:4-5. Specifically, the court notes that plaintiff gives no reason to suggest that he will be jailed or why excessive force would be used against him if he is. Scroll, please. C. Plaintiff's motion for reconsideration. In plaintiff's current motion for reconsideration, plaintiff still fails to provide a sufficient basis as to why his constitutional rights would be chilled in state court, or why he would be subjected to excessive force or even death if he were to be imprisoned. Instead, he continues to make conclusionary statements that are not based on fact, but rather on plaintiff's assumptions. As much, his motions for reconsideration should be denied. 3. Legal argument. A. Legal standard. Fed R. Civ P. 60B permits the district court to reconsider and amend a previous order. However, the rule offers an extraordinary remedy to be used sparingly in the interests of finality and conservation of judicial resources. Motion for reconsideration is not the proper vehicle for rehashing old arguments and is not intended to give an unhappy litigant one additional chance to sway the judge. A motion for reconsideration should not be granted absent highly unusual circumstances. Marlon, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Reconsideration is appropriate in the district court is presented with newly discovered evidence, committed clear error, or an initial decision was manifestly unjust, or if there was an intervening change in controlling law. B. Plaintiff fails to satisfy his burden under the reconsideration standard. The court order denying plaintiff's motion recognized that factual courts should usually abstain from interfering with state court criminal proceedings. In particular, courts should not act to restrain a criminal prosecution when the moving party has an adequate remedy at law and will not suffer irreparable injury if denied equitable relief. In other words, there should be no interference except where the danger of irreparable loss is both great and immediate. The standard to allow interference in a state criminal proceedings is stringent. No individual is immune from good faith prosecution of his/her alleged criminal acts.
You want me to take back over?
Sure.
Okay. Plaintiff's reconsideration motion includes the same arguments raised in its initial briefing, merely cited back to its original motion as the sole evidentiary support for the motion for reconsideration. Does not contain some valid reason why the court should reconsider its prior decision or set forth facts of law of a strongly convincing nature to persuade the court to reverse its prior decision. The reconsideration motion does not include newly discoverable evidence, designation of clear error, or an intervening change in controlling law. Here, the plaintiff's entire motion relies exclusively on his prior arguments already made before this court. Additionally, plaintiff misstates the law throughout his motion, specifically in response to the court's reasoning. The plaintiff failed to provide a reason to suggest that he would be jailed. He responded by incorrectly stating that misdemeanors carry a maximum jail time of 6 months, as if it were the only consequence available to him. NRS 193.150 provides that every person convicted of a misdemeanor shall be punished by imprisonment in the county jail for not more than 6 months, or a fine of not more than $1,000, or by both fine and imprisonment, unless the statute in force at the time of commission of such misdemeanor prescribed a different penalty. In lieu of all or a part of the punishment which may be imposed pursuant to subsection 1, the convicted person may be sentenced to perform a fixed period of community service pursuant to the conditions prescribed in NRS 176.087. Thus, based on the plain reading of the statute, persons convicted of a misdemeanor shall be punished by imprisonment or by a fine of no more than $1,000, or a combination of both. Jail time for misdemeanors is not mandated by statute, as plaintiff applies in his motion. The state court could simply require plaintiff to pay a fine and not impose any jail time. Therefore, defendants agree with the court's initial determination when it concluded plaintiff has given no reason to suggest he will be jailed, because plaintiff has once again failed to adequately explain why he believes he will be required to serve jail time. Even if the court reconsiders plaintiff's motions, he has not shown that he will suffer irreparable harm to warrant the issuance of a preliminary injunction. In order for the court to issue a preliminary injunction, plaintiff must have shown he would suffer irreparable injury that is both great and immediate if such equitable relief is denied. Plaintiff has failed to articulate sufficient reasons why he would be unable to raise his constitutional claims in state court. I'm sorry, I can't talk this evening. Just like in Younger, where the court concluded the defendant was not entitled to equitable relief because the injury the defendant faced was solely incidental to criminal proceedings brought lawfully in good faith, the same argument could be made here. Plaintiff's criminal proceedings in state court were not brought in bad faith or as a result of series of repeated prosecutions against him. Furthermore, plaintiff hangs its entire argument on the fact that First Amendment rights would be chilled if the state criminal proceedings was not stayed. However, the Younger court itself stated that even a chilling effect does not by itself justify federal intervention. Moreover, that even the existence of a chilling effect in the area of First Amendment rights has never been considered a sufficient basis in and of itself for prohibiting state action. Therefore, even if the court decides to reconsider plaintiff's original motion for preliminary injunction, he's not proven beyond his own mere speculation that he would suffer immediate irreparable harm in the presence of a preliminary injunction. Can you take back over, hon? Jim?
Would help if I wasn't muted.
Right there.
Possibly.
In addition, plaintiff relies on a few cases to argue preliminary injunction is not held to the younger standards if charges have not been filed. Plaintiff further alleges his criminal action is not pending and therefore his case could not be held to that standard. However, this is incorrect as his case is pending in state court because he does have formal charges against him for 1. Obstructing a police officer under NRS 19.19 or 197.190, and 2. Resisting a public officer under NRS 199.280, which plaintiff himself has acknowledged. See ECF number 18 at 2:7-8. I can't talk either tonight. It's just going around here. Consequently, this argument fails. Conclusion: based on foregoing LVMPD, defendants respectfully request the court denies plaintiff's emergency motion to reconsider motion for preliminary injunction to stay state proceedings. Dated this 20th day of June, 2023.
Okay. Next is today's that just came out probably about a half hour ago. I'll start at the introduction. I'm sorry?
Want to just skip up to the good parts?
Mm-hmm. I believe you said it started at page 5.
Page 5. What was it? Line
there 4. It is.
Yeah.
Yep. Finally, and Melendrez, if Melendrez isn't convincing, the fact that COVID is running rampant in jails along with plaintiff's susceptible age should be enough to show irreparable harm. Defendants don't argue against irreparable harm only if it hasn't occurred yet, and defendants don't deny that irreparable harm I'm saying that word completely wrong. Irreparable harm will occur if plaintiff is jailed. He's grasping at straws.
Yeah, seeing that he's previously said that COVID is fake, and if it is real, he could survive it easily and has survived it before. Now suddenly he's concerned about his age and COVID and how he'll probably die in prison. I haven't heard of it running rampant in Vegas right now, let alone in the Vegas jail. That would have made the news.
Yeah, I mean, there is still COVID out there, but it's not at a level where they're taking in. There's no mask mandates or anything left out there.
Yeah, even my doctor's office finally lifted the mask mandate about a month ago. I finally got to see what people look like after 3 years in this new office.
Since one is 48 years old in a age group that will cause irreparable harm.
Getting close, but I thought it was in the 50s for the age.
Yeah, it was late 50s, early 60s that it started. He's nowhere close to that. And if he's saying 48 years old is old, then I don't know, Chili. I don't know where you're living, because it's not that old.
Okay. Let's continue on with this part. Preliminary injunctions are not necessary to maintain the status quo. Defendants argue that a preliminary injunction isn't necessary, as plaintiff is unlikely to experience jail time or have his civil rights chilled. Yet defendants argue against the preliminary injunction, which clearly shows that they require that the stay not be implemented for their future plans to jail him. A state of criminal proceedings will not harm the defendants at all, and plaintiffs meet the good cause standard simply by requesting an injunction to maintain the status quo as done here. Additionally, defendants do not argue that the injunction will have any negative impact on them. Well, we just read the prior motion, and that's not exactly what they said.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I got a novel idea, Chili. You don't want to go to jail. Stop breaking the fucking law, asshole.
E. Plaintiff is likely to win on the merits and request for judicial notice. Plaintiff requests this court to take judicial notice of facts in the next 3 paragraphs under FRCP Rule 201. The Las Vegas Police Protective Association, LVPPA, which represents police officers in court for actions when sued officially, has training videos on the rights of citizens to record police. The videos are conducted by David Roger, who was the district attorney of Clark County from 2002 to 2014 and leads the legal team at LVPPA. The one video titled Videotaping Officers says at 107, "Don't take the bait. Be legally careful. If they aren't obstructing your investigation, if they're not on top of you, if they're not putting you in danger, but they're merely videotaping you, you have no basis to arrest them. If they aren't obstructing your investigation, then try to ignore them. I understand it's difficult. I understand that sometimes it's a concern, but throughout the country, these people are traveling from city to city, baiting officers by showing up on crime scenes or traffic stops and videotaping officers. You have an absolute right to tell them to stay out of the immediate area so that they are not a distraction or danger to you. However, if they walk a distance away and they continue videotaping you, there's nothing you can legally do, and if you force the issue and arrest them, you can be sued civilly."
The problem being here is that Chili told him, no, I wasn't going to move when it was on top of him. And he wasn't reasonable about it, going a distance away. What did he do? He pretty much threatened the cop to sue him.
Well, that's how he does. This is exactly what happened.
Just to add, plus this has nothing to do with the motion that he's talking about right now. None of this is helping the actual motion to stay. It's just babble.
You're not timed out, Walter.
This is exactly what happened. See the complaint and plaintiff's own video of the incident at URL, where plaintiff walked a distance away and continued videotaping. The officers forced the issue and got sued civilly. I transcribed the foregoing video from the LVPPA's website on June 21st, 2023, and it is a true and correct copy of a transcription of an LVPPA training video for LVMPD officers published October 3rd, 2018. Additionally, the LVPPA provided an even stronger message in an additional video that was published after Nevada Revised Statute 171.1233, recording of law enforcement activity, went into effect. F. Plaintiff interest clearly lies in the protection of civil liberties. There is no public interest in jailing plaintiff for asserting his civil liberties, and the defendants have argued none. The public interest clearly lies in the protection of civil liberties for the plaintiff, Padilla v. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Plaintiff clearly wins a sliding scale test. Due to the foregoing, plaintiff would clearly win on either of the sliding scale tests. 1, a likelihood of success on the merits and the possibility of irreparable injury. Or 2 serious questions going to the merits and a balance of hardship strongly favoring the plaintiffs. G. Where a pro se plaintiff failed to allege elements or making factual allegation, it should be overlooked where those conclusions can be drawn from the facts alleged. Plaintiff motions to stay criminal proceedings should be granted where his civil rights will be chilled without the injunction and in the interest of justice.
Now I know we didn't read the whole thing, but there was literally nothing there to give the judge to change his mind for now the 3rd time at this. He was shot down the first time, the judge hasn't responded to the second, and now he's making a 3rd appeal, but with nothing new other than the COVID thing. Everything else is just babble, non-related stuff.
I can go ahead and start the Long Island audit video, but I need to step away from my desk for a second to take care of something.
All right.
You go to control for a sec?
Yeah.
Okay.
Court inside the building.
I have a law right here. You want to take a look
First,
at?
you're gonna have to step out for me.
Please don't touch me.
All right, then step out.
Don't touch me.
All right, so
Don't
step
touch-
out the
don't
facility.
touch me.
All right, so step out the facility.
Hey,
Everyone needs
get
to
off
step
of me.
out. All right,
Get
no
off of
problem.
me.
All right,
Get
now
off
we
of
can
me.
talk.
I'm getting my property.
Yo, step back.
Don't push me. Don't touch me. What are you pushing on me for, man?
All right,
What's wrong
listen,
with
if you
you?
come into, where's your property? Is it this? Hey, you shouldn't drop things. Put your hands behind your back.
Look at the law.
Stop
I'm not
resisting.
resisting.
All right, so put your hands behind your back. All right, so put your hands behind your back.
You were looking for this.
I was looking for what?
This interaction.
I was looking for you to take away my freedom?
No, I'm not gonna do that. You can't record inside the building
Hey,
facility.
can I-
I'm gonna ask you to step out.
Can I
I'm gonna
please
ask
speak
you
to
to
a
step out.
supervisor?
First, you're gonna have to step
I
out.
have a law right here. You
All
want
right,
to take a look
first, you're gonna
at?
have to step out for me.
Please don't touch me.
All right, then step out.
Don't touch
All
me.
right, so
Don't
step out
touch-
the
don't
facility.
touch me.
All right, so step out the facility. Sir, right now you're trespassing.
touch me. Don't
Right now
touch
you're
me.
trespassing.
Hey,
Everyone needs
get
to
off
step
of me.
out. All right,
Get
no
off of
problem.
me.
All right,
Get
now
off
we
of
can
me.
talk.
Get
Now
off
we
of
can
me.
talk outside.
Read the law that says I have the
All
right
we
to
can
do
talk
it.
outside.
You're
Now
a
we
law
can talk.
enforcement officer. Read the law. It's
All right, now
felony.
you wanted to talk. We
I'm
can talk.
going inside where I have the
You're not
right to
going
record.
inside.
I do. I have the right to record.
All right, you're trespassing.
I'm not.
I asked you to
nope.
leave, and you refused
I'm
to
not
leave.
trespassing.
Now you're
I'm
not.
not
Now
trespassing.
you're not because you're outside. So
No,
let's
I'm not
talk.
trespassing in a building that I paid
All
for
right, so
either.
let's talk.
There was
What
no
happened?
reason. Why'd you put your hands on
Because
me?
I
that
asked you to leave, and you refused to leave.
way? My paper is there. That
All right,
doesn't mean you can put
we'll
your
get
hands
your
on
paper.
me.
Do me a favor. Grab his paper.
Let me speak to a supervisor.
All right, no problem.
Let me speak to a
All
supervisor.
right, we got one for you.
This is ridiculous.
All right, it's ridiculous that you're not following.
Listen,
I asked him to leave.
You're with him?
He refused to leave.
You're documented? All right, just stop going closer to me.
He has the law in his hands.
That's fine.
Are you
Stop
scared
going
of me or
closer.
Nah,
something? Stop.
it's in his hands.
Are you scared of me?
You keep coming closer. I keep
But are
telling
you
you to
scared?
back up.
I'm going into my building.
Pay for this building.
Yeah,
He
right.
has
Pay for
papers
this
in his
building.
hands.
Back
You
up.
do pay for this building.
Back up. You want to talk to a supervisor? Just
We
back
paid
up
for
from me.
I'm waiting for the supervisor.
All right, so
My
give him his
property is
distance.
inside
All
of
right,
this
we'll
building.
get you your property.
My property is inside of this building right
Yeah,
now.
huh?
I'm getting my property. Step back. Don't push me. What are you pushing me? What are you pushing me for? No one's
Yo,
scared
if he
of
comes
me.
here,
No one's scared
all
of me.
right, stop. All right, stop. Here's your
Don't
paper.
touch me.
Here's your
Don't
paper.
touch me. That's not my paper.
All right, then where's your paper?
That's not my
All right,
paper.
then
It's
where's your
inside.
paper? Where inside?
It's inside.
All right, where?
What
All
you
right, go
pushing on me
inside.
for,
All right,
man?
no,
What are you doing?
Step away from me.
What are you
All right,
doing?
this
Don't
is
touch me.
get inside, get
What are you
inside,
pushing
get
on me for, man?
All right,
What's wrong
listen,
with
if you come into the police facility,
No,
you're
what
going
is
to be
wrong with
arrested
you
for
guys?
trespassing.
For I can't trespass in a public
I'm giving
area.
you a warning,
Don't
sir.
touch me. Give me my property.
All right, I'm giving you a
want my
warning. All right,
property.
so step out, let go of the door.
My property's
All right,
inside
so let
this
go of
building.
the door.
My property's
All
inside
right,
this
so,
building.
all right, if he goes to this door, I'm
My
arresting him.
property's
It's as simple
inside
as
this
that.
building. Grab me my property.
All right, where's your property? Is it this?
Grab me my property.
Hey, you shouldn't drop things.
You guys are out of
Have a good
control.
day, man. Coming through those doors. If he grabs those, all right, he's trespassing. He was right inside.
Look at the law.
You got
Look at
cuffs?
the law. Look
You got
at the law.
cuffs? Put your hands behind your back.
Look at the law.
Stop
I'm not
resisting.
resisting.
All right, so put your hands
I'm not
behind your back.
resisting.
All right, so
I'm
put
not
your hands
resisting.
behind your back.
I'm not resisting.
All right, good.
I'm not resisting.
All right,
There you go. Read this law, by the way. All right. What am I arrested for?
trespassing. I told you not to step into the police facility.
Don't take it. I'm not resisting.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'll delete it. I'll shut it off. He's allowed to record. My camera's still on, by the way.
Look, and the other one is coming.
It's fine. I'll talk to him too.
I'm not resisting.
I'm not telling you you're resisting. I'm checking your pockets in case you have
I'm just
anything.
making sure that you
Sure.
know I'm not resisting. That's all. I'm not resisting at all.
You were looking for
Hey, Kick.
I was looking for what?
this interaction.
I was looking for you to take away my freedom? Why would I want you to take away my freedom for?
Can't come in. Don't come in.
Why would I want you to take away my freedom for?
You mind just getting the petting?
Yeah, I got you.
Read the law. You don't like cameras, man? You don't
You
like
saw it, right?
You don't like transparency.
This property.
My GM is $1,000 for me, so please don't take my money. That's the idea.
Anything else?
Sorry, what is that background noise?
Sounds like somebody
think-
yelling.
Yeah, that's within the video. And he's made a number of curious cuts here and there where it just jumps.
You want to read that law? There's a law that says I'm being serious with you. But what I'm saying is you arrested me on what? Go ahead. I'm arrested. I'm placed under arrest. For what? For what crime? No, for what crime? For trespassing. How does trespassing, officer, how does it supersede not only my constitutional rights, but it supersedes New York State and New York City law? How does it do that? No one has their body cameras on?
My body camera's on.
Okay.
It's right here.
So how does trespassing supersede New York State?
I'm gonna do this first.
I'm here.
I'm doing everything for.
I can speak, man. I'm not gonna
answer it.
You don't have to answer if you don't want to. You have the right to remain silent.
What time you got?
I'll
count this in front of you, okay?
Yeah.
Do you want any medical attention?
No, I don't
And
need
you
attention.
mind, I don't have a radio. Can you just
I got you.
This is ridiculous. You know that. This is 100% ridiculous.
75 days.
I have a right to be in this building, just like anyone else has a right to be in this building.
There's also rules, you know. What you
But the law.
listen to me,
Sergeant,
Listen
can I
to
get
me.
your
Wait,
name?
let me talk.
I'm trying to speak to
Listen.
I can't hear you.
Would you go to a library and cause a ruckus?
I'm not causing ruckus.
Wait.
I'm peacefully
That's what
reporting.
you're
That's not
doing. We're
causing a
telling you
ruckus.
to remove yourself from here.
For what reason? For what lawful reason?
Answer that question. Would you do that?
What lawful
Would you
reason?
go to a library and do that?
Sir,
It's a
I
rule,
came
right?
here with, you guys are
All
law
right.
enforcement officers. I came here with a law.
All right.
I came here with a law
All right.
to show you, and you don't want to see the law. None of you.
All right, but we're telling you to stop
1, 2, 3, 4,
recording.
5, 6 different
Pause.
laws. I have a right to record.
Jimmy
Yes.
Wrangler, that's someone screaming in the background. They're just making noise.
Chia says it's Vlad.
Probably. He's in the drunk tank just screaming. But he's lonely. He misses you, Gia.
By New York State and New York City law. New York State and New York City law gives me the right to record.
But when they tell you and give you a law
No,
order,
it doesn't.
stop.
Read the law. It's laminated right there for you.
I'll read it.
It's laminated right there for you. Read the
I'm
law.
gonna read you this law, sir. Alright? It is a crime with intent to prevent a police officer from ascertaining such information to knowingly impersonate your actual name, date of birth, address to the police officer. Alright?
You have everything you need on my license right there.
I'm asking you, what's your name?
It's on my license. Don't fall. That's my name.
Alright, what's your date?
All right there on the driver's license.
There was another jump.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no reason for any of this. Zero. Zero reason for this.
What's your phone number?
You don't need my phone number. It's a spot on your paper. You don't need it. You need my name, date of birth, address.
Alright, so you refuse me to give a phone number.
You have my. You
I
have
don't
my
have your phone
information.
number, that's what I'm asking you. You refuse
You don't need it. Is it a crime for me not to give you my
That's not what I'm
number?
asking you. I'm asking you, are you refusing to
Yes,
give
I'm
me
refusing to give you my phone number. You don't need it.
Alright, that's not what I asked.
No one wants to read that nice laminated law, huh? No one wants to read the law. It's a law. You are a law enforcement officer.
We're gonna be vouching for you, so we're gonna read it. Don't worry.
You are a law enforcement officer and you're going against New York City law.
I'll count your money, okay? We're gonna do the course.
You are breaking New York City law. You know that, right?
You know how much you have?
It's $1,000
I'm
in
just gonna count
cash.
it in front of you again, alright? 1.
Who the hell criminal would carry that much cash around with him when he's doing something that he might get arrested for?
Somebody who wants to have bail money on him.
Like,
Yeah, he had planned this. This is exactly what he wanted to do so he could file suit against them.
Mm-hmm.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000.
$1,000 in cash. Correct.
Alright, you fucking. Alright, sir.
Look at the law, Sergeant. Sergeant, look at the
Sir,
law.
are you hurt or injured?
How are you look at your law?
Sir,
I don't know if I'm injured
do you need
yet.
medical attention?
No, I don't need. He said no. He said no already. Sergeant, look at the law. I'm trying to tell you that there is a law.
Right, I don't need to
what
look at
am I
this
being?
law,
I'm arrested for. Being arrested for trespassing.
1120.
I want you to look at the law because it's very important. You are a law enforcement officer, Sergeant. You should really look at the law. There's a New York State law and a New York City law that grant me the right to record the police in the course of their duties. There's no exception for a police lobby, Sergeant. Sergeant Lopez, there's no exception.
Did you answer my question earlier? Would you call something after they tell you to leave from the library?
But you have no right to tell me to leave.
Would you keep talking and
You have no
disturb
right.
everybody that's in the line?
You have no right to tell me to leave a public place.
I'm trying to give you an example. You're not trying
No,
to.
but you have no right to tell me to leave a
I
public
don't need
place.
to talk to you anymore. You guys
There's a
just sit on the
law.
back,
You
put
don't,
on next to
that's
the
fine.
good,
You
right?
don't have to talk to me, Sergeant. You have the right to remain silent.
Bert.
Anyone say anything against you in the court of law.
Let the road tell you. Bert.
Where's his phone? Sarge, I don't know if that phone's still recorded. Where is it?
Where's his personal phone?
It was on this thing. I'll look for it after. I'm gonna lodge him first. Yeah. Yeah, just I would move it away from the desk though.
Get your straight together. You guys are in violation of city and state law.
Yeah, your socks. Turn inside out. Oh, we got right now.
Yeah, I got that.
Completely How would you feel if this happened to your niece, nephew, brother, uncle? How would you feel?
I would tell him to respect the cops.
You would tell them to respect the cops.
No,
What if those same cops were violating the law?
I didn't violate any law.
Yes, you did. I tried to.
a good cop would have no issue with his family member being arrested for breaking the law.
Yeah, and even if it was under questionable circumstances, they would probably advise him to comply and take care of it in the courts.
I'm not sure, Joe King, if he has his girdle on today. We will find out, I suppose.
Show it to you. You didn't want to read it. You violated the law. I'm trying to tell you. You think I'm joking, or you think that you're violating the law as a New York
Very
City.
good job.
I'm sorry, Hank, I didn't hear you over the sound.
If he's got his man girdle on, it's not doing a very good job today.
I'm going to have to revise his character I made of him to make him just a little bit bigger than he was.
Tell me that. It doesn't.
Because that's what you're right? Get yourself a lawyer and sue us.
I know there's no accountability. There's no accountability in law enforcement.
We're breaking the law, get a lawyer and sue us. Stop telling me about it.
It doesn't matter. I can tell you whatever I want to tell you.
All right, keep talking.
It's a violation though.
You're violating
If you're
trespass.
supposed to be to arrest all Hispanics.
The hell?
I don't know, there was another jump and then the banging.
Fellow patriots and freedom lovers, I received this body camera footage as a part of discovery in my criminal case. As I was reviewing the footage, I heard the unidentified female officer you saw in the video say, quote, "Delete that shit," end quote. This statement doesn't shock me. That is their mentality. It's statements and actions like the ones we just witnessed why the NYPD doesn't want We the People recording in the precinct. The NYPD has been violating our constitutional rights and New York State and city law for years now. Why? Because they can. Not anymore. I promise each and every one of you I will do everything in my power to get this unconstitutional and unlawful policy abolished. I know that together we can effect true change, not just in New York City, but around the country. United, we the people are strong. I truly appreciate all of your support. Federal and state lawsuits are incoming. Stay tuned to the channel for further updates. As always, let me know what you think about this one in the comment section below. Stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next video. Long Island Audit. Peace.
Somebody asked, when did this take place? Al, I'm not sure when he recorded it. He uploaded it today.
Yeah, the incident happened
about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago.
And I thought when you got your the body cams as part of discovery, part of that was that you weren't supposed to be using it for any other purpose in your defense.
That's what I thought too. But people in the chat, we allow you to say almost anything. However, if you're going to come in here and be disrespectful to other viewers, panel members, call names, or just trying to start an argument, you don't need to be here. Just saying. So.
And this incident happened 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Dan says it's the police body cam. He didn't record this.
Yeah.
Next on the list that you sent me, Hank, is the live from Chile from the 20th. So not last night, but the day before.
Right. The night that he was out in front of the IA, right?
Yes.
Okay, so just wanted to kind of have a conversation here, and I wanted, in front of the Douglas C. Gillespie building here, where the coppers exist, where they fly a black flag above the building. Everybody hit the like button if you would, please. So this is the Las Vegas Metro Police Department, and this is the...
Pause.
This is the...
I don't know for sure, but the only black flag that I'm aware of being flown in front of police departments would be the MIPOW flag. If you got a problem with that, Chili, fuck you.
I agree. Jim said he'll be right back, and I also asked a question in the private chat.
Internal Affairs Division here, I believe. I think we're in front of Building C here. So I wanted to take a second and just have a bit of a conversation. Everybody hit the like button. How is everybody?
Get it just in case.
Okay. I'll wait for Jim to come back to do that.
Okay.
Today, nice to see you guys. Whether you're watching next week, next month, or next year, please take 2 seconds and take your finger and reach down and hit the like button. So I wanted to talk directly to the members of the Las Vegas Metro Police Department, and I wanted to be abundantly clear in what I'm going to say here and now. Look, I am a journalist, I'm an investigative journalist, I'm a civil rights activist, and I'm on a mission. And my mission is extraordinarily clear. So I'm talking directly to Las Vegas Metro Police and the police department, the officers, the people involved in Las Vegas Metro Police Department, because I don't call them sergeant and lieutenant. I think that's the bane of our existence, is militarizing the police in this country. So, Las Vegas Metro Police Department, you guys need to understand something. I don't like being touched. I don't like you putting your hands on me. Now that you guys are learning who I am, I've been a part of 2 different lawsuits against you guys over the past 2 months. I will sue you again. Sergeant Martinez, I'm this close to filing a lawsuit against you for trying to chill my First Amendment.
He's only been part of 1 lawsuit. The other one was Floyd's.
Yes, but he keeps admitting to practicing law without a license and being part of that lawsuit. So keep it up, Chili.
Right. This close, Martinez. I'm just really busy in 6 different lawsuits across the country from bad cops that I've sued. So I want to be clear here. This is why I came on here, right here in front of Internal Affairs. Oh, sorry, your case is closed. No more information. That's what you guys told me. I heard you. Believe me, I heard exactly what you're saying. I heard you. And the people here, they heard you. If you're new to Delete Laws, welcome to the channel. The channel has a very, very plain and clear mission. Number 1, we are a non-violent group to get our actions done through petitioning, legislation, press. That's our group. We are a non-violent group. To every Las Vegas Metro police officer watching, I have no ill intent or violence towards you. When you interact with me, you do not touch me. I am a member of the press with over 1,000 videos on right here on this one page. Since 2021, my videos have been seen over 75 million times. That's a couple times, okay? Now, during that time and all the interaction.
Hey, Chili, that doesn't make a fucking bit of difference. You break the fucking law, the police can do whatever they need to do to put you under their control, to either cite you or arrest you and put you through detention and then get you in front of the court. That's your fucking choice. You don't get any special privileges because you want to claim press.
Actions I've had, the number 1 mission of Delete Laws, non-violent petitioning, lawsuit, press. Peaceful protests and sit-ins. That's what we're going to do. I was arrested in Ironton, Ohio for peacefully protesting. Dirty Judge Waldo tried to revoke my bond. I had to flee Ohio.
No, you're arrested in Ohio for trespassing. You don't have any right to protest in a closed fucking building, asshole.
Ohio until we go through the federal civil rights case. You can look it up. Justia De Castro versus Wagner. That is a current ongoing civil rights case I have in Ohio. The mission of this channel is extraordinarily clear, Las Vegas Metro Police Department. Number 1, overturn Terry versus Ohio, and the plethora of different laws that exist after it. Plethora. I've heard so many people say plethora, and I laugh at.
Nobody other than you have I ever heard mispronounce it like that, you fucking dumbass.
Everybody says plethora.
Yeah.
That I know.
Them when I see it, and then because you hear it so many times, then you say it, and you sound like just a dunce cap. So, number 1, our mission is to overturn Terry versus Ohio, numero uno, and knock down every.
Chili, you're not a dunce cap. You wear a dunce cap. You're the dunce, not the cap.
The existing case precedent, stare decisis jurisprudence law that exists after it. That is the mission. Number 2, get cameras in every single courtroom in America, from the very small court in the borough.
They already have cameras in every courtroom across America. And you can request said video footage for the trial.
The town, the district, all the way up to the federal court and the Supreme Court. We should have a right to film our interactions in the courthouse. Our rights should not end at the courthouse door. That should not happen. It absolutely shouldn't happen. But yet here I am.
Yes, but your rights shall not be at the cost of somebody else's rights. So fuck you, Chili.
Standing in front of the Las Vegas Metro Police Department, explaining to them, we have a very specific mission with Delete Laws. If you're a part of Delete Laws and you're new to this, listen, there's a mission here. Overturn Terry versus Ohio. Get cameras in every single courtroom in America. If you have court, make sure you have some sort of recording device or somebody has a recording device for you, because the courts in the United States of America are cheating people. Because it's a miscarriage of justice. You don't like abortion? It's an abortion of justice. When you go to court and you can't record your session, where you can't audio or video record your session without getting permission from the judge. Number 3, overturn Tenney versus Brandoff. Tenney versus Brandoff allows to give judges and legislators immunity, and that's one of the biggest problems in this country. So, Las Vegas Metro Police Department, let me say it again so you guys understand something. This is a non-violent. See you guys, whether you're watching.
Oh shit! Damn it! Where was I at?
I don't think we were that far in. It's only a 25-minute video, so.
Here in Las Vegas, I would put cameras up everywhere. Everywhere there would be cameras, and you could log into them. Whatever I can see from the public street, you should be able to log into it. I should be able to look up that copper's body cam footage, and there should be just file after file after file, so you, the public, can investigate coppers who are doing bad things. You know how many people call me and say cops are stalking me? I guess this is the new term. This is the new way that we do it, right? It's like this now. You guys have to understand something. You have to understand. And I'm talking to the Las Vegas Metro Police Department. We don't stop. We don't stop, baby. Put OTVO in the chat. Everybody put OTVO. That stands for Overturn Terry versus Ohio. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Let me see if I can get 1,000 of them. I can't see the screen because I don't have my glasses on, but it looks like there's a few hundred people in here. Put it in there. OTVO. Overturn Terry versus Ohio. So that copper who I ran into the other night, the one who assaulted me when I was pulled over, and so let me give you the backlog, because I'm excited and I'm tired of these guys thinking they can physically touch me. Keep your damn hands off me. Don't touch me, bro. All right? If I'm carrying a gun, it's not for you, dude. It's for my own protection. I don't have a knife stuffed down my pocket to stab cops. That's crazy. I wish no physical or violent interaction with any police officer in Las Vegas Metro or any place across the country. Now, when you physically touch me, I get my dander up because I spent 25 years on the mat. Wrestling, fighting, pancration, sambo. I did it for years and years and years. I spent so many years being tough that I didn't realize I had a near photographic memory. Not quite, but close. I remember a lot more than a lot of people, I guess. There's some humble pie for you. But I want the Las Vegas Metro Police Department to understand what the mission of delete laws is. So I listed them now. I'll list them again clearly. Overturn Terry versus Ohio, which spurs a bunch of other Supreme Court cases. Carroll, Kerr, Brinegar, Graham. Then secondly, we want to get cameras in every single courtroom in America. Thirdly, we want to get rid of the term law enforcers and get back to peace officers. Fourth, we want a camera system that we get access to. We do not want a camera system, an additional camera system, and you guys can look it up. I believe it's called Flock cameras, F-L-O-C-K. Look that up, Flock cameras. They're setting them up all over the country. Your police department is being funded by this Flock company, and they're putting up the solar paneled cameras where only the coppers get access to it. Unregulated, only the coppers can see in what's going on. That's crap. We kill Big Brother by us all getting access to the camera footage. So now tell me where in that mission it says start a revolution. Tell me where it says do violence upon police. It doesn't. It doesn't. So I want to say it again. If you guys ever hear that I lost my mind and I got mad and I punched a copper, they're lying.
You muted me?
Oh shit. Sorry, Chili, but you'd have to have a mind to lose it, so you're not qualified. Sorry, buddy.
They're absolutely lying. If you've been following my mission for the past couple years, you've seen that I've driven across the country from California to Maine and back twice. And in that time, I've had interactions with hundreds, if not thousands of people on camera. Some of those people have been extraordinarily hostile towards me. I will not go to violence. I will not. And if you're a part of this group, then you are on the same mission, because I will not lead a violent mission. I don't want to get myself or anybody else killed. We cannot fight this power with violence. We have overwhelming numbers now. We can put 1,000 people in this parking lot, sit in right here, and they won't be able to move their cars. And they can drag us off to the dungeon. But then you need 1,000 coppers to come down here to do it.
Chili, when have you ever been successful in getting anybody to come to one of your rallies? The most you've gotten so far has been one.
That's the point. Peace, legislation, petition. Sue their happy asses until they're done. Sergeant Martinez, I'm considering suing you. I'm this close, buddy. I'm this close. You had no right to block my camera. You had no right to come and say, that's one, you're interfering, that's two. Let me tell you something, Martinez, that's 3, 4, 5, 6 in your face. And when I sue your ass, you're gonna learn. You have no right to touch me, coppers.
Yeah.
But he did interfere.
Yes, he did.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I'm a journalist with thousands and thousands of videos. I am not a violent person. I do not believe in violence. All the things that all the people will say about me, but yet they cannot produce a victim of violence. They can't get a battery charge. They can't get a 911 call. They can get nothing.
How about stalking? That's
I was going to say that. Yeah, because didn't we go over that on his, and I quote, non-existent criminal record?
I believe so.
And screaming in front of a police department is just normal, everyday, non-violent behavior.
Never hurt anybody who didn't enter into mutual combat with me. And that was before I was 25 years old. I'm too old and too intelligent to go wrestling coppers. It's not what I want to do with my time. I want to change things, and I will change things, and you and me will do it together. I can't do anything alone. You guys know that. The only reason that I have any power at all whatsoever is because the Constitution, and that there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people joining every day and following the mission to overturn Terry versus Ohio, get cameras in the courtroom, change law enforcers to peace officers, and to get a camera system that we get access to. This is such crap across the country. If you guys are unfamiliar with my email address, it's can'tgetbodycam@gmail.com. If you can't get the body cam, send me an email, can'tgetbodycam@gmail.com. That's my email address. Because across the country, people can't get their body cam when the cop has assaulted them, beat them, intruded on them, trespassed on their property, warrantlessly searched their house. That's what I'm talking about. And that's got to change. We need a transparency within this organization, or we're screwed. We will never have our civil liberties, ever. And so along the route, what I'm doing is I'm educating people, I'm teaching people. I'm teaching you the cases you need to learn through my trifold, through my ebook, and through my poster. I carry it with me. Your driver's license should be laminated, a photocopy.
You don't teach anybody the right way. You don't teach people the right meanings behind laws. You tell your fucked up irrational meanings of laws. So you're not doing anybody any good, and a photocopy of your license is not valid in a majority of the states, Chile, no matter how you feel about it.
Copy of it, your proof of registration, your insurance should be laminated. It should look just like this. Now mine has tape on it because thousands of people watch my videos. There's my registration and my proof of insurance. There's the front and back of my driver's license. It's right there. When you get pulled over, you're gonna be disoriented. Why isn't your ish set up properly, bro? Just explain it to me. Why isn't your ish set up properly? This takes 10 minutes at Kinko's, 10 minutes at FedEx, 10 minutes to get it, so then you have a copy of your license, your registration, proof of insurance right on you at all times. And then the dirty copper can't take your license and stick it in his top pocket. And then you feel like he's got dominion over you, he's got your property. Now in some states you have to actually give them the actual driver's license. Great, cool, but what if you don't?
That license is not your property, dumbass. It's the property of the state that issued it. And police officers keep your driver's license until they're done with it, with pulling you over, because if you run, they want to have that as proof of who they had pulled over. Not too hard to figure out, dumbass.
Don't have it on you. What if you have to fumble around, reach in your back pocket? This goes up in your visor. This trifold here, it says learn the law on it. I've given several lectures on it. It's on my website. I give it away for free, baby. It's $8 to download, $30 to buy, and we send it to you printed. This goes with your license, registration, proof of insurance in your
Giving it away for free, you're still ripping people off with that bullshit.
car. For the love of God, don't reach. For the love of your family, for your friends, for everybody who ever put 1 ounce of energy into you, don't reach. If you reach back for your wallet, it could be the last time you reach.
That's why you ask.
Reach.
That's why you say, officer, it's in my back pocket. Can I reach for it?
Yeah.
Reach, bro. Don't reach. Have your stuff lined out. Have your stuff lined out. Have your license, registration, proof of insurance inside your trifold. Right there, invoke your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. Educate yourself. Get strong. Get strong with your rights. Flex your rights. This is the most important thing to me, and this is all that I do with my time, and I will never stop. I will never, ever stop. So the copper that I saw the other night who had previously assaulted me on a traffic stop before, where the copper, so I'll give you guys the backlog now that I've kind of taken a breath here. About 3 weeks ago, the cops pulled me over and said that I went too quick. I was watching the yellow light and I timed it just right, and boom, I went through the light right when it turned green. He said I went too soon. He pulled me over. I'm also a civil rights activist in this town.
Wait.
I also
lights don't go from yellow to green, fart knuckle.
Wasn't his excuse the other night that there was nobody around? Why would he make that argument?
Because he can't be guilty. He can't be wrong.
Yep.
have sued Las Vegas Metro or been a part of 2 different lawsuits in the last 2 months. So am I surprised that I got pulled over? Not at all. However, when I got pulled over, the copper who pulled me over, we went back and forth. I had my laminated license. He said, "Where's your real license?" I said, "That's a laser copy. Looks just like my real thing. And best thing is, it's better because it's more clear, and that's my actual." And he said, "No problem." He took it. I took the tape off. He ran my driver's license number. No warrants. So then when they were back there, I saw another cop, and then they had a powwow back there with 4 cops behind my car. And you know what? I'm not under your dominion, copper. You don't have control of my bodily motions, Mr. Sandoval, who's getting sued for $5 million. Sandoval, you're going to cost Las Vegas Metro $5 million, bro. That's what's going to happen. You're going to cost
You don't have control of your body, your bowel movements, much less anything else, Chili. You don't have a chance in hell of winning your lawsuits. None of your lawsuits.
At least 7 figures, Sandoval, because you hurt me. So what happened was I saw the 4 coppers behind me. I saw these 4 coppers. They were having a little powwow, a little conference. And so I got out of the car. One of the coppers I recognized extraordinarily well. I filmed him several times. I said, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" And they said, "Get back in the car." And then one copper said, "Oh, I know who you are." And I said, "Oh, you know me?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, don't stand over there. Come over here if you're going to get out of the car." So, of course, I said, "No problem. I'll walk right over to you guys because I'm a nonviolent activist member of the press. So I'll walk over to you guys." And as I walk over to them, the copper from the other night, who's on video from last night, walks up to me and says, "You got any knives on you? Do you got any weapons on you?" And I looked at him and said, "You know I'm not going to answer any questions, bro." And then he started to grab me. Don't you put your dirty hands on me, bro. Don't you put your dirty hands on me.
Well, when they ask you a question about fucking weapons, you retard, you give them a goddamn answer or expect to have hands laid on you. Jesus fucking Christ, it's not rocket science.
You know who I am. I'm the mofo that will sue your ass again. That's who I am. I will.
You're the mofo that can't pronounce again. Fucking jackass.
Sue your ass. And if that copper had touched me the other night when I was filming that stop, right now we would be in front of the courthouse as I was filing another lawsuit. What's the mission of Delete Laws? Petition. What is your petition? Your lawsuit. You're petitioning the government that they have wronged you and you want to be paid now for damages for what.
Yes, but what you have failed to do time after time after time is proven any of your fucking allegations. All you're doing is wasting everybody's time, money, and effort. So fuck off, Chili.
The coppers have done to you to chill your First Amendment right or strip you of your Fourth Amendment right. Okay. All right. Okay. So good to see everybody. Hello to you too. Nice to see you, Carlos. What's going on? Let me read off a few names and just say hello to a few people. For those of you guys who have been a part of the fundraisers that I've done, just so you guys know, we put about $50,000 in people's pockets last year. We put about $50,000 out last year in donations to people who we helped either get out of jail. We helped them with living expenses. We helped them with travel. We helped so many people last year. The last calculation I have was about $50,000 that we've donated. So to the people who are the donors and who come in and people who put $5 in, $10 in, thank you so much.
I don't trust your mathematics one bit, Chili.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much for helping others because it's really of no benefit to you other than you get to benevolently give to another person and it makes you feel like maybe, just maybe, you're going to get a pathway to heaven. Maybe, just maybe. Fingers are still crossed. For those of you guys who want to support me and what I do, go to my website, Delete Laws. There's a donations button on there, but I want you to get the trifold, the ebook, the poster. That's what I want you to get. I want you to have that poster on your wall. If you buy the $20 poster, $25 poster, go to Kinko's and print it out and put it on your wall. And then talk about every little case on there. Look at every single case on the poster, memorize it. Every case on my poster matters. It matters.
Most of it's incorrect.
I can't see very many comments. But just while I'm here, let me just read off a couple of names. Here. Just because, you know how YouTube has the comments all messed up right now? You know how that is.
I haven't noticed YouTube having any of the comments messed up.
Okay, so I got Johnny. What's going on, Elmer? How are you? Chevy, what's up, Playboy? What's going on with the Playboy? What's going on, Playboy? So to the Las Vegas Metro coppers who say they're not watching this, I'm a very gregarious, fun, outgoing, loving person. I'm doing my job, coppers. You signed up for something I don't respect. However, you're doing the job you signed up for, which is atrocious. That doesn't mean, though, that I'm going to attack you because I don't like your job. I'm not. That won't ever happen. That's never going to happen. If this country goes to a civil war, I leave here until the intelligent people can come back and get back to constitutional law. Do you follow what I'm saying to you? I'm sorry? Were you speaking to me? Okay. So hello from Florida. What's going on, Florida? Do me a favor, everybody type down in the comment section where you're watching from real quick. Type down in that comment section where you're watching from, if you would, please. Let me read off some states here.
Your mother's bedroom.
Let me read off some states. Someone said 50K LOL. How many people did you raise money for last year, brother? How many? How many people did you do something for besides yourself? How many people did you invest in that you didn't get a return on your investment? You just invested in them. How many? What?
I, like most people, give without having to track how many people we've given to and how much, because that's not the spirit of giving. Fucking idiot.
Yeah, I don't need to announce who I give to.
Yeah. And how much I give to who. That's none of anybody else's business.
Good to see you. Nice to see you, Robert. Anthony, good to see you. I like to plays in California. Apache is in Hawaii. Mark, what's going on, Playboy? Ark. I got Ark in here. I Love Yahweh is here. Nice to see you. Steel Toe is in the room. What's going on, Steel Toe? What is going on, Malone? Ego Checker in Texas. What's going on, Ego Checker? How you doing, brother? It's always good to see you, man. We're following your case there, Ego Checker, and make sure you keep up with me. And I'm extraordinarily busy, so you always just got to stay on me. Slow Burner. What's going on, Playboy? Firefly. Matt 5. What's going on? Booth 732. Long Island, Dwayne Long in California. Nice to see you. Falling Down, Keith. Lots of new faces, lots of new people. Thank you guys for coming. Be clear, this is a mission. We are on a mission. Overturn Terry versus Ohio, OTVO. So just real quick, what cases spur off of Terry versus Ohio? You got to get out of the car in the name of officer safety. Pennsylvania versus Mims, 1977. The cops can take information from a confidential informant, 1983. Illinois versus Gates. All they need is information from any confidential informant, and you can be detained, investigated, and no-knock raided. 1985. Tennessee versus Garner. Police cannot shoot you as you run away unless it's in the name of officer safety. Tennessee versus Garner is an extension of Terry versus Ohio. 1995. Wilson versus Arkansas. Police cannot no-knock raid your home unless, of course, it's in the name of officer safety. See Breonna Taylor. 2000.
So all of these are due to Terry v. Ohio and not on their own? Is that what he's claiming?
Sounds like it.
2013, Florida versus Harris. Police are allowed to get a drug dog, and if the drug dog barks, that is probable cause. An extension of Terry versus Ohio. 1996, Wren versus the United States. Police can pretextually stop your car based on if they're suspicious of your car. They just have to make up some traffic infraction that they think they saw, but then later they can say, you know what, I may have been mistaken, but I did it in good faith. So now you're out of your car on the side of the road being searched, skiffed, patted down. 1990, SITS versus Michigan State Police, SITZ. That's what creates DUI checkpoints in the United States of America. Nazi checkpoints. That's what that creates. SITS versus Michigan State Police, 1990. An extension of which law? Terry versus Ohio. 2009, Arizona versus Johnson. If you're the passenger in the car and the cop orders you out of the car, you have to get out of the car in the name of officer safety. The jurisprudence, Terry versus Ohio. You wipe away Terry, every case I just mentioned falls. Then you have your freedom back. You don't have to get out of the car in the name of officer safety because Terry versus Ohio isn't there to uphold Pennsylvania versus Mims. Now, Graham versus Connor. 1989, the use of force contingency protocols. What that means is that any officer who believes that you could be a danger to him can use the amount of force he deems reasonable based on what he's concluded in his mind about you. So these cases are essential. And then we get to the 1967 case of Pearson versus Ray, which will wipe away qualified immunity. But before that, I believe we should look at the 2001 case of Atwater versus City of Lago Vista that says that absolutely anything is arrestable. Even an infraction of the law done in front of a peace officer is arrestable. Atwater versus City of Lago Vista, 2001 has to go. These cases are in my ebook. These cases are on my poster. You have got to educate yourself. People often will contact me and say, hey, Chili, how can I help you? Educate yourself. That way, when we walk into a situation, you realize that right there, see those people right there? The copper's interviewing those two people right now. Now,
Did you say something, Becca?
Yeah, I said goodnight, Chuck.
Oh.
Sorry, I said bye, Chuck.
Chuck.
I can walk over there with my camera and I can film them. Why? Because we are in a public place. You have no expectation of privacy in public. That's the entire mission. That's it. That's everything. All right? So, that's why I came here. Las Vegas Metro, I don't want to sue you again. Sergeant Martinez, Sergeant, forgive me, I misspoke. Mr. Martinez, because we got to get rid of the ranking system within police organizations because it creates an allegiance to the person ranked above you.
Jesus Christ, Chili, no matter what you call them, there is going to be a structure of different levels of authority within any organization. No matter what you want to call them, they are still going to have those leadership positions. Jesus Christ.
Or the legions rank below you. And that's what a ranking system, a military system does. You have to do what the person above you tells you. We don't need a militaristic system.
Go get a job at Walmart. You have to do what your manager tells you or you're fired. Live with it, Chili. It's a part of life.
Peace officers, we need people to uphold our constitutional rights. That's the entire point of what I do. This is, you know, I found my calling. I've always been here. I've always been a part of this, but I found what I'm intended to do. I'm intended to lead and change these things based on the knowledge that I've learned. Share my knowledge with you, get you to a point where you know what I know, so that you can stop chanting stupid slogans. No justice, no peace, no racist, police. Blah! Spit it. Stop saying that. Overturn Terry versus Ohio. That changes this organization fundamentally. Police could not walk up and touch you unless they had probable cause. Terry creates the reasonable articulable suspicion standard created in 1968 by Hugo Black, a member of the KKK who was on the Supreme Court and the lead inquisitor in the Terry versus Ohio case that started in 63 and ended in 1968. Okay. If you guys have any questions, if you want to reach out to me, please reach out to me through my website, deletelaws.com with a Z. That's where you can get my products. That's where you can get in touch with me. That's my website. We don't stop. We don't stop. We don't stop. We don't stop. Thanks for coming. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.
All fucking righty then.
So what was his point? What did he do at IA? Did he just stand outside and yak, or did he go in?
No, he just stood out in front and looked like an idiot talking to his camera.
How's everybody doing? What's going on out there in the land of YouTube? What's going on, YouTubers? Just YouTubing here a little bit, I guess you would say. I guess YouTubing is probably the wrong terminology, but that's where I went when they let me out of jail for filming a copper. And so I'm coming down here today, and I'm not really sure exactly where the main entrance is for this dungeon, but let me just show you something real quick. So those are the windows. Those are the windows inside where human beings are. You know, I'm outside in the sun right now, and it's beautiful out here, and it's so nice to have the sun shining on my face. Well, take a look. Those are the windows that is allowed for people who are arrested inside of the jail in Las Vegas, Nevada. And that's what you're looking at. The windows are
they have
this
windows.
big.
Yes, they have windows. And then you see that fence right there with the curved barbs at the top? Guess what that is? That's their fucking yard to have time outdoors.
You mean they're allowed to go outside?
Yeah, imagine
Soak
that.
up the vitamin D?
Chili's gets his inside from his cellmate.
Thought a
Oh, you missed
dungeon.
the sun.
Thought a dungeon didn't have sunlight.
No.
So you don't get any light. You don't get any light. And that's really what you deal with when you go, when they arrest you and they take you to the dungeon. And so a lot of people say a lot of things, and I read all y'all's comments. I read everything you guys say. Good to see everybody. I can't see because I have my glasses on, as you guys know. But I'm down here at the jail here in Las Vegas. And what you'll notice, if I can find where the entrance is that the police are taking someone to the dungeon every 5 or 10 minutes. Every 5 or 10 minutes, this place gets another person going to jail. Now, it would be one thing if they were going to jail and it was like the world's becoming a better place, society is becoming cleaner, better. It's a better system because we're taking the bad people, the really awful people, we're taking them to jail. That's just not what's happening, though. What's happening is cops have the right to arrest you for any infraction of the law, so if they don't like you, they can just arrest you. And if you have a domestic where you and your girlfriend or your wife or your husband or your boyfriend have a fight, well, then they're going to say, well, someone has to go. And so where do you go? Where do you go? You go into a little dungeon where you're...
Chili, society has dictated that we want our police to make it separate a domestic violence, and if there's obvious signs of battery, they don't have a choice but to arrest the person. That's not the cop's choice. That is what our elected officials have put in place because that's what society at large wants. They want a safer environment.
Treated like garbage from the moment they put the torture cuffs on you. So I'm just trying to find the entrance so that you guys can visually see how many people are drug off to this dungeon. I mean, when I was in the dungeon here in Las Vegas, how you guys doing? Good to see everybody. I think I'll put my glasses on in a minute. I can't see anything yet. So then the other thing is that as you see the cameras here, they have cameras here. No, it says authorized personnel only. They have cameras here that you don't have any access to. So someone just real quick in the comments, just let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you have not heard of anybody trying to break into a jail or a prison. I've never heard of it. Has anybody ever heard of that? I've never heard of
people try and break in and out of jails all the fucking time, Chili. That they've got all the precautions in place to help prevent it. It's become effective enough. It hardly ever happens, but several times a year you hear about people escaping from custody.
It's usually people breaking in to try to get somebody broken out.
Yep. Or just get drugs across the fence line. Or other items that of contraband.
someone trying to break into a jail or into a prison. I've never heard of it. Never. But yet, they've created a literal... I hear something. I mean, take a look at that. Look at that. This is in the United States of America. This looks like the... Did you find out about your extended car warranty? I can hear screaming in there. I can hear people inside of that dungeon right now. I can hear them in there.
Yeah, you can hear them asking about his car warranty.
This looks like, I don't know what this is. Maybe this is to get some outside time if you're put in the dungeon. And then this says, of course, there's cameras watching everything you do. And so this is detention services, authorized personnel only. So you can't go over this fence without breaking the law. And we did look it up. There's NRS codes specifically about crossing over a marked barrier within the jail system. So when they have a marked barrier like this and it says you can't go past it, there's an NRS code, a Nevada Revised Statute Code, that makes it a criminal offense if you violate the barrier that has posted signs on it. So when you're around a dungeon, you have to make sure that you always read the signs. Always read the signs. And so over there it says no loitering, but I'm not loitering. I'm actually doing a press report right now. I'm showing you guys. So take a look at the dungeon that they have here. Take a look at that. Now, this is how people are treated that are taken to a dungeon. Right across the street. That's how you get treated if you're in government. Here's how you get treated if you're in government. Here's how you get treated if you go to the dungeon. You can't even see how small those windows are. They're absolutely tiny. Right across the street, though, if you're in government, look at that. Look how great it is for you if you're in government. Look where they spend the money. They spend the money here. Take a look at that. I mean, this is beautiful.
It would be completely
And then,
stupid.
even across the street here, you have the City of Las Vegas Municipal Court.
It would be dumb as fuck to have big ass glass windows for every prisoner, because then they would break them to escape, you dumbass.
Courthouse. Look how nice that would be to go to work there. Oh man, isn't that nice? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Just so beautiful. Look where they're putting the money. Look where the money goes, Lebowski. Where's the money, Lebowski? Where's the money, Lebowski? And then across here, take a look at the dungeon. With the dungeon,
I can guarantee you the holding facility's budget is probably more than any of the other buildings you just pointed out.
Doors on it. And so people say to me, man, Chili, you're so mean to cops. Bro, if you were alive in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, before there was this camera phone like I was arrested dozens of times for no reason.
You were born in 74. So the 80s, possibly late 80s, you would have any significant knowledge. But I made it through the 70s and 80s with no problems without having a camera phone.
Because I spoke up when I saw injustice,
Hey, Terry.
Cops beating and hurting people, being abusive. And so now the shoe's on the other foot. And now these guys can be held accountable, not even necessarily by their own government agencies. But just take a look at this. Look at that. This is how you're treated. This is how you're treated. You can hear people in there. It sounds awful to me. Being incarcerated like that just sounds terrible to me. It sounds like someone's getting beat on in here. So this is now right here. What this says restricted entrance, so you can't go into a restricted entrance. So for the coppers who are all watching and people calling the cops and saying, "Oh my God, there's someone outside the jail," I'm a law-abiding citizen. I won't break the law. I'm not going to break the law. I won't do it. So, so these are the docks where they bring people in to the dungeon system or take.
What was that, Hank?
You won't break the law more than you already have, maybe? Question mark? Asking for a friend? And that may be the Sally ports that they drive in to drop off prisoners. But there's not why would you have an issue with Sally ports for delivering prisoners?
Seems like it would be more safe to drop them off inside the building.
Yep.
Than to drop them off outside the building and walk them in that way.
Take them out of the dungeon system. And what you guys have to understand is when you see me and I'm dressing down a copper, the reason is because his job, his entire goal when he starts his shift is to bring you here. That's their goal. Their goal is to arrest you and take you to a dungeon. That's their entire mission. When they go out every single day, their motto is not protect and serve. Someone put in the chat what their motto is. Someone tell me if you know what the police motto actually is. The motto of police, the slogan of all police is what? What is it? Let me take a look at my other phone and see if anybody gets it.
Protect and serve.
Let me see if you guys know the slogan of police, because I know it. I know it inside and out. Does anybody know the motto of police? Let me see if you guys know this. Whatever it takes to go home safe. Rocco got it. They pass by each other. Rocco, you nailed it, my friend. They pass by each other and they say, "Hey, have a good shift. Whatever it takes for you to go home safe at the end of your shift." Well, what does that do to the standard of care? Think about that. If you're a dentist or you're an attorney or if you work in a sanitation department or if you work at a school, right? Anywhere you work. If your job is to go home safe, if you're a nurse, if your job is to make sure that you go home safe at the end of your shift, well, then what does that mean exactly? The standard of care.
Nurses, doctors, all medical personnel do take a hell of a lot of precautions so they can go home safe at the end of the day. Every job I know of, your intent is to make it home safe at the end of the day. Some jobs, it's more difficult to achieve that goal than others.
that you're going to provide for the people who you're in service for is going to go dramatically down if the number one thing, the most important process, is your safety. It's supposed to be you sign up to be a copper because you're brave and you have courage and valor. Now it's whatever it takes for you to go home safe at the end of your shift. And I mean, so this is the transfer release exit. Transfer release exit. And take a look. Do those not look like dungeon doors to you? I'm just asking. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys think those look like dungeon doors. Do those look like dungeon doors to you?
No, they don't look like they're going to a subterranean method to imprison and torture people. So no, doesn't look like a dungeon door to me.
Is that what they look like? Let me see. Let me see how many people agree. Do those look like they're a dungeon door? It looks like it's a dungeon door to me. Good to see. Let me put my glasses on so I can see. Okay, let me take a look. Are these dungeon doors? Do those look like dungeon doors? Those look a lot like dungeon doors to me. I'm just wondering if you guys feel like they look like dungeon doors.
It looks like secure
lots of
doors
ones,
to me that I would want to have
in the chat. Lots of people saying 1111111. Because if the number one priority for you is to go home safe at the end of your shift, well then, how can you thank someone for their service? You hear, listen, I come from a long military family. Lots of people in my family were in the military. I wasn't in the.
And in the military, our goal was to do what we had to do to make it home safe, whether we're in war or in peacetime.
He quoted a movie, actually. The first rule of law enforcement: make sure when your shift is over, you go home alive.
Yeah.
The Untouchables.
Yep.
Military because I graduated high school in 1992 and the Iraq War was going on, which was predominantly for oil. And
92, the Iraq, the first Gulf War was already over. Chile had 8 more years until the actually 10 more years until the next Iraq deployment kicked off. So what's your excuse now, buddy?
for power. So I wasn't interested in dying for oil. Now, when you see a military person, even though some of them got kind of strung into it because we're not fighting for freedom anymore in the military, we're mercenaries around the world. We use our government as a giant world police to make sure that our economic...
Fuck you, Chile. Military is not fucking mercenaries. Go fuck yourself with a fucking pineapple.
Interests stay solidified. And so you say to a military person, thank you for your service. Now, when you're talking to a copper, his job is to take people to a dungeon. And this is an absolute modern day dungeon. Look at it. You're looking at a dungeon. This, if you go here, believe me, you'll hate this. You'll hate every second of this. This will be absolutely hell on earth for you. So when you see me dressing down a copper, remember that copper on the same shift that I'm dressing him down, he's gonna take someone to the dungeon that night. If you are taken to the dungeon, it is the worst day of your entire life. It's the worst day of your year. It's the worst day of your month. It may be the worst day of your life, and it could be the last day.
How to say you've led a sheltered life without saying you've led a sheltered life? If getting arrested is the worst day you've ever had in your life, fuck you, Chile.
Of your life. So while they will say whatever it takes for you to go home safe at the end of your shift, your life may end when they drop you off here. Think about that just for a second. Before you say I'm a great big meanie, the same cop that I'm talking to on the road is the same cop who has a goal to take you here by the end of his shift. He wants to meet up with his brothers in blue right here. And then they have a thin blue line of silence. So if they lie, cheat, or rob, do anything to you along the way to get you to this dungeon, the other cops will lie on the reports for them. We read in the Mullen Commission, the good cops really wish that the bad cops would be taken away, but they're the ones in charge of the law. So,
a 30-year-old report, Chili, is that the best you've got? A 30-year-old report about 4 precincts of the New York Police Department.
Next time you see me dress somebody down on the street and I'm not so nice to a copper, his goal is to take you away. His goal is to kidnap you and take you to this horrible, awful place. That's his whole mission. His goal, and then check it out, the cameras here. Do you get access to those cameras? Put a 1 in the chat if you've never heard of people breaking into a jail. Put a 1 in the chat if you've never heard of it, ever. Have you ever heard of someone breaking into a jail? I've heard they've tried to throw drones over to put drugs in there. I've heard that they have tried to smuggle things in, like cell phones and stuff like that. But put a 1 in the chat if you've never heard of anybody ever trying to break into a jail to get...
It happens all the fucking time, Chili. The reason why they have to have such solid doors there is because people will ram cars into the fucking doors trying to break people out. The reason why you don't get very many people being successful in it is because they've taken the right precautions. Like heavy duty fucking doors. I guess you don't remember when the guy landed the helicopter in the prison yard trying to get for a prison break.
Somebody out. I've never heard of it, and I'm 48 years old. I've never heard of it. So I'm not really sure exactly. I mean, here's booking in code 5. Does this look like, this is not a delivery place. This is not a facility where you're going to drop off a semi-truck full of goods. This is human cargo that someone's making money for on the other end. This system of putting people in the dungeon, if it was making the world a better place, I'd be all for it. But we have at least 60 years of data of mass incarceration, of real data starting back in 1970. And what are we talking about here? Mass incarceration that's led to a horrible society. Let me tell you something. Is society better? Is this place better? Are things going good out here? Is that what's happening now? Because they lock up so many people, the world must be a better place, right? Put a 1 in the chat if the world is not a better place for locking people up in dungeons. Just put a 1 in the chat if the world is not a better place after 60 years that we know of mass incarceration, locking people up. It's not good. It's not good at all. And each and every one of them have, you go here and there's a VIP parking here. VIP, you're a VIP.
I just looked it up. A month ago, 2 people tried to break into Western Tidewater Regional Jail in Virginia. In January, a man attempted to break back into jail 5 hours after his release so he could go back to jail. And there's numerous news reports of people breaking into jails. So, does he not watch the news?
Yeah, if he doesn't pay attention to anything that doesn't fit his agenda.
VIP here. Why are you a VIP? And why don't you have access to this camera? How come you can't see through the camera? This is the definition of Big Brother, where they have cameras that they get to see, but you don't. Put a 1 in the chat if you would access the camera footage if you got access to it. And last I checked, I can't read the comments, but no one is trying to break someone out of a jail. That is not happening. That is not happening. So then when they let you out of the dungeon, then you're released on the street, as I was.
I've got prisons not very far from me, and at least 3 or 4 times a year, we get notified of prisoners escaping that we have to be cautious of. So yeah, people escape from jail and prison.
with no money. My phone is dead. Nobody carries cash anymore. And so you're on the street. Your phone is dying. My phone is actually alive because I let a couple people who'd been arrested use it. And then they now have to find their way home. They have to find their way home from a dungeon. They were just kidnapped from the street and they were taken off to a dungeon. Do you think locking him up is going to make the world a better place? Do you think locking that man up is going to change his daily process? Is that what you think? Thanks for the super chat. I didn't see it. I see the yellow at the top. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But do you think locking him up is going to change anything? I can see some comments now. Amazing. Claudette, the tribe. What's going on? I can see a couple comments here. The comments are all jumbled up. Forgive me. Put a 1 in the chat if the system has to be changed. This is not going to work. And here to me is the most ironic part of getting out of the dungeon when they arrested me for filming a copper. And that would be Brandon Bork, who's being sued. And that would be Doolittle, who's being sued. And that would be Jesse Sandoval, who's being sued by me for wrongfully arresting me and torturing me. And that would be, what was his name? They call him a sergeant, but Tory. His name's Tory. You're no sergeant, Tory. This is not a military system. And we're going to break it. It has to be taken apart. Take a look. Does this look like a dungeon to you? Now here's the ironic part. Right across the street's Golden Nugget, baby. Party going on over here. Right here, you're in a dungeon. Change it around, man, we're in a party. We're going to a party, casinos, palm trees. It's absolutely wonderful what's going on over here. Right over here, you're in a dungeon. There's no windows. No. You don't get to see out.
That's a fucking parking garage there, Chili. Jesus Christ.
There's a message in the private chat.
Gray, it's dark, it's dirty. When you go here, you get treated like ish the moment you interact with a copper.
Go for it.
And you see this? They put this tiny little space for you to slip into the back of the car, which is inhumane and atrocious. Let me cross the street. You can see it. I mean, look how dirty the building is because they won't put any funds into anything that has to do with what you are put through.
They're not cleaning the outside of the parking garage enough for you there, Chili?
Meanwhile, across the street, the walls are gold. Gorgeous. Look at this. Beautiful. You got the stripes. You got, oh man, it's nice over here. This is really nice. You come this way, dude. Looks like I'm in a great place right now, right? Looks like I'm having a good time. I love this place. Right across the street's a dungeon. It's gray, it's dark, it's dirty. The goal...
That's a fucking parking garage. That's probably used by some of the people going over across the street to the Golden Nugget. Huh.
Of every copper you see, when a copper passes by right here, what's his goal for the day? To take you to jail. His goal is to arrest you. That's the goal of police. And they'll remind you as they interact with you, did you know I could take you to jail for that? Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard that. Did you know I could take you to jail for that? I've heard that 1,000 times in my lifetime. If you guys want to clip that little clip and send it to me, did you know I could take you to jail for that? Every time you hear it, just clip that little clip for me, will you? Did you know I could take you to jail for that? Did you know I could arrest you for that? Did you know I could take you to jail for that? Well, there's the dungeon right there. Across the street's a fiesta party. Woo! Everything's great over here. And the people who have versus the people who have not. This is why I came down here. I wanted you guys to see how disgusting the dichotomy is. How this is a party, amazing fiesta across the street, baby. You don't get any windows over here. They're not going to clean anything over here. Nothing's going to be cleaned up over here. Dirty, dark, dingy, disgusting. But people in the comment section say, oh, why is he being so mean to the cop? I guess you weren't alive in the 80s or 90s. I guess you didn't experience the stalking and the harassment and the overreach by the cops throughout the 80s and the 90s. I guess you didn't experience that. There was a comment, someone left a comment yesterday and they said, you know, if they had cleaned up their own backyard in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, he wouldn't be this way. You're right. If I hadn't been treated so inhumanely for so long, fucker, Oh, sorry about the language. You know, bees don't scare me. I'll take a sting to the hand in 2 seconds. I'll whack that sucker out of the air. Here comes our heroes. Here comes our heroes. Oh, it's an ambulance. It's an ambulance.
Hey, Chili, what you whacking a bee for? Bees are good for the environment, not like you. You're a drain on the environment.
$4.20. So there that is. When the people get out of jail over here, when they're released from the dungeon, they only have one place they can go. And it's to the beautiful Golden Nugget Casino right across the street from the dungeon. Right here, you're in absolute hell. Over here, paradise. This is great. Anything you want strawberries with cream? We can get it right here. It's amazing. Haves, have-nots. Have money, can afford an attorney. Don't have any money, can't afford an attorney. Aren't gonna.
If you can't afford an attorney will be appointed for you at no cost to you. So you don't have that as an excuse for why you don't have an attorney.
To be targeted by the police are going to be targeted by the police. These people are legitimate criminals because they get their pharmaceuticals from the pharmacy because they pay a doctor. These people are criminals because they get their pharmaceuticals from the streets. We just saw that, right, with Big Pharma. Are you guys following my Twitter account? Are you guys following my Twitter? Because I'm making a push into Twitter in a big way. It's Delete Laws on Twitter. I need you guys to go over and follow my Twitter because they talk about things on Twitter we're not allowed to talk about on here. There's a video that I posted on my Twitter of all these A-list celebrities saying, if you don't take this mandatory medication by Big Pharma, who funds all these beautiful things, and they fund these things as well. If you don't take this mandatory medication in 2020, then you shouldn't get to go to a restaurant. You shouldn't get to go to a bar. You shouldn't get to go out to eat. Well, let me share.
He's now referring to the vaccine when he just cried in his motion for his lawsuit that he's afraid of the C virus. Huh.
The privilege that I've lived in my life. If you don't have any super rich friends or you've never had a lot of money that you could just expend, the big part of the upper crest 1% is where they eat out. Obviously, I shared the video on Twitter, on Delete Laws on Twitter. I couldn't share my full perspective like I can now with people listening and watching. The big moniker, the status symbol, the clout that you get being an A-list celebrity or someone who has excessive wealth is where you get to eat out. And they'll talk about it. They'll say, oh, I went to Catch. And then you go to Catch, and then who are you sitting with? Oh, I'm sitting with Dr. Richard Hawkins, who was saying, hey, if you don't take the mandatory medication, you shouldn't be able to go out. Why? Because it impeded on his amazing, wonderful life. It impeded on his life where he didn't get to go out and have status. And because he couldn't go out and have status and say, hey, I'm at Catch and I'm with Wolfpuck, then he said, oh, you shouldn't be able to go out to eat. You shouldn't be able to get on the subway. It impeded the A-list and super rich's lives because you peasants, it was the pandemic of the unjabbed is what it was.
There's nothing financial about receiving the vaccine or not, because there was never a charge for the vaccines. I don't think they're charging for the vaccines yet.
It's so funny though. I didn't see any of those A-list celebrities. I don't see Richard Dawkins going, you know what? We lock people away, we put them with a window a 1/4 inch big, and then we treat them the most inhumane way possible. No, Richard Dawkins doesn't care about that. He's lost himself. He's lost himself. All he cares about is where he gets to go out to eat. And did you see that I was with Steven Spielberg when I went out to dinner at Catch? That's, just so you guys know, I lived in LA for 20 years. I lived a very, for how much money I have, I lived a very extravagant life because I was friends with all these rich and important and half-famous people. And so I could go out to eat to these really nice places. Bazaar. You ever heard of Bazaar? How many people? Put a 1 in the chat if you've never heard of a restaurant called Bazaar. Put a 1 in the chat.
So you leached off of people that eat at these really nice places that you're complaining about now. Huh.
If you've never heard of a restaurant called Bazaar.
What was that?
Sounds just like him.
Yeah.
Okay, so right here. You see these coppers right here? Their goal right there is to be taking someone away to a dungeon. That's their entire mission. You see the coppers in there? This is where they meet. This is where they booked me, right here, booking. So we're in front of the booking carousel. The dungeon entrance is right here. And this is their entire goal. Their whole goal in the beginning of their shift is to take you to booking. That's their goal. And let me tell you something, folks. They get bonuses and accolades, and they get promotions the more people they take to the dungeon. If they catch you with drugs, or maybe a gun, or maybe they can charge you with human trafficking. Yeah. Sorry, I just don't believe that that Andrew Tate raped anybody or human trafficked anybody. I think that he says, F this system. Alpha males, sigma males, we are the leaders, and I don't care if you like it. And so the powers that be couldn't have him spread his brand. I'm not a huge Tate supporter, but I do not believe he raped anybody. Sorry, I don't believe it. Not even for 2 seconds. You couldn't sell me on that. So we're at booking. Now, right now, it's 7:30 p.m. It should be 7:30 according to my guesstimation here. 7:30 straight up right now.
Just because they didn't prosecute him for it doesn't mean that he didn't do it. And Melihue says in the chat, he literally confessed to it. We have evidence. Tate is fuck you, Chili.
He's being prosecuted now for it. That broke yesterday.
Oh, haven't gotten that update yet.
Yeah, that was on the news yesterday.
Thank you.
What will happen over the next couple hours? You will see a new copper pull in here every 5 or 10 minutes with a new person that they're bringing to the dungeon. Every 5 or 10 minutes right here, right. Everybody hit the like button. If you would, there's 450 people or something like that. Hit the like button. Hit the like button if you would, please. Everybody hit the like button and then do me a huge favor. My #1 goal in life is to overturn Terry versus Ohio. Put OTVO in the chat. Hit the like button and put OTVO in the chat. See if you can put a couple thousand in there. With this many people, that's only 5 apiece. That's only 5 apiece. I mean, just look at the dichotomy here. Look at it. Right here, there's a building with no windows in it where you're treated like absolute garbage. There's paradise right there. Just enter the gates. You got the money? Everything's great. Your life's amazing. This is an amazing life you're living. Right here. It's right there. There it is. Palm trees and pools and, amazing life. You're in the dungeon here. Hope you can come up with bond or you know someone who will raise your bail money. Because if you don't, you're going to sit in this dungeon for a very long time. For a very long time. I just wanted to show you guys. I wanted to show you. I'm telling you, as soon as it gets dark,
Chili, you got released on your own recognizance within a few hours of your arrest, so why you bitching?
dark, and even sooner, you will see a copper pull into this booking. Every 5 or 10 minutes, a new human being will be drugged down to the dungeon where there's no windows, where it's freezing cold, with metal seats, metal cells, and shackles. And you haven't been found guilty of a crime yet. You have not been found guilty of a crime yet. And they take you to this horrifically bad place. Horrifically bad. Even The torture cuffs being put on you is so inhumane and so torturous that they often have to use 2 or 3 guys to rip your shoulders back. And then if they double cuff you, it doesn't matter, because if they don't double lock the cuffs immediately, they cinch down on your wrists and torture you. These are the facts. These are the absolute facts. Unless you have money.
Does Chili not understand what the word fact means?
After reading his motions, no, he doesn't.
And I looked it up. Whoever had the question in regards to Tate and his brother, if they were still in jail, they're currently under house arrest. And he still has that mark under his arm.
That's the system we've designed and we've built here, and that's the biggest problem that we're facing in the United States of America, is locking people in a dungeon has not made our culture better. It's made our culture worse. I am not for crime. I am not for criminals. I support rehabilitation. Put a 1 in the chat if you think nobody in here is getting rehabilitated. Put a 1 in the chat if you feel like nobody in here is getting rehabilitated. Nobody is getting rehabilitated. You're torturing people. You're destroying their confidence and their soul. You're strip searching them, making them feel like they're nothing and they're insignificant. As you make them stand over here and look over there and look over there and don't look over this way. And if you don't do what they say, they will hurt you badly. Put a 1 in the chat if you've experienced anything like this. There's my 1. I've been there 50 times, 20, 30 times. At least I've been arrested, at least. And I still have no criminal record. No criminal record that's worth talking about. I always have to mention my 2 charges at 18 and 20, 1 with a fake ID and 1 shoplifting when I was 18. I better out myself there.
And your GHB manufacturing and distribution?
Yeah, that's still criminal, part of a criminal record. So when he says he doesn't have one, he's lying.
And to get your deferment, you had to allocate to it. So, hey.
Have you guys been over to my website, deletelaws.com? I hope you have an indestructible trifold in your car, or at least you get the digital trifold and you have it in your car. Deletelaws.com with a Z. Get over there. Make sure you have a trifold in your car. Make sure you have a trifold in your car. Make sure you memorize the entire trifold, and then you look up every case on the trifold and you research each case. We're going over another case tonight. Tonight, when I get back, we're going to go over a case called North Carolina versus Heenan, 2014. Another case that is an extension of Terry versus Ohio. Take a look at it. North Carolina Heenan, H-E-I-N-E-N, I believe, versus North Carolina. That's the case. And I believe the case is 2014. It's an extension of Terry versus Ohio. Another copper. What'd I just say? There's another copper bringing another person to the dungeon. This man has completed his task for the night. He has someone in the back. He's taking another person to the dungeon. Mission complete. He has succeeded. He's now successful in bringing someone to the dungeon. So we've been here for 10 minutes. 2 people have brought people in the dungeon. How you doing, man? I don't answer any questions. What's your name? Are you a police officer? You have to identify yourself. You are, according to the... Oh, you are? God bless you, dude. Oh, you do?
I'm just looking to pick up a friend.
From the jail?
From the jail.
Sorry to hear that. He's probably down at Golden Nugget. You're on my live stream right now on Delete Laws on YouTube. So.
Yeah, hey, that sounds great. Look, are you a police officer?
I'm not going to answer any questions. I have nothing to do with being a cop, man. I'm not a cop. I'm an anti-cop.
Where do you pick up people that are being put in?
You know, wouldn't that be nice if you knew? I don't know. They took me here a month ago. That's why I'm making a video right now. They arrested me for filming a cop.
No, they didn't.
I'm really sorry you're going through this, man. Listen, it's your friend was kidnapped from the street, taken away in shackles, right?
She messed up. Got an argument.
She got an argument. This is the jail. When I was released from jail, just so you know, they take you right down there. Ask this cop. He's got someone in torture cuffs right here. He's got someone in torture cuffs right here. He's taking this guy has a question for you. He's taking someone to the dungeon right now. No, he's not with me. He's got someone in the car he's taken to the dungeon. That's what he's doing right now. 3 cars, we've been here for 10 minutes. 3 different cop cars are taking people to dungeons. Did you get somebody? Did you arrest somebody? You got somebody? Did you get somebody? Oh, they do. They have someone in the back of the car. That's wonderful. That is just wonderful. And then I'm not sure if you guys saw or not, but he immediately jumped on his radio and said, oh my God, there's a guy with a camera out here. They must be planning a jailbreak.
No, we didn't see that. We didn't see that, nor did we hear that. Did anybody see the cop on his radio?
No. And I'm sure the jail officials are well aware of you pacing back and forth in front of their jail. They tend to notice things like that.
And from watching many, many, many DUI videos, they typically call in to say what they have or who they have in the back when they get to the facility so they can be let in.
And this poor man, this poor man is distraught.
And you're not helping whatsoever.
You got to go over there for officer safety, bro. He's a football coach. He's not an activist.
So?
So there's an NRS code for this, brother. You can't step there. I'm telling you. I know the law. You cannot step there. You can't go. So now you're on public property right here, sir. Right here. See that line? You're on. Now you can do whatever you want, but you can't step on this property. There's an NRS code, Nevada Revised Statute. He succeeded in his goal. He's got someone he's taken to the dungeon right there. So we've been here for 10 minutes, folks. 10 minutes, 3 people. And this guy tried to get information from the cop. Are you frustrated right now? Yes, he is. I'll leave him alone because he's having a hard time. He's going through it, folks. He's going through it because someone that he knows and loves is in a dungeon. And he said that she had an argument with somebody else. He didn't say that she assaulted someone. He didn't say that she attacked somebody. Can't get his friend out of the dungeon. Doesn't know where to pick his friend up out of the dungeon.
But he did say she messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Has no idea. He has no clue how to get his friend out of the dungeon. Look at that. Look at the confusion. Look at the confusion that happens because he can't find his friend and take his friend to the dungeon. And I think we got another one. We got 2 more coppers that are successfully right there. These guys are getting a promotion. These guys are up for the promotion. They got another person they're taking to the dungeon. Now we're 4 people in about 12 minutes. We got 4 different cop cars. Now is the world becoming a better place because they're taking people to dungeons? Is that working out? Is that what's going on?
And any one of those people could be in there for more than just a simple misdemeanor. They might be in for, I don't know, first-degree murder or kidnapping or something serious that has an actual victim, and he's still downplaying it.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to somebody.
I have a pretty big YouTube channel, my friend. It's called Delete Laws.
No, but where do you walk?
He doesn't
in and
care.
Talk to a police officer, answer questions.
You walk in and talk to a copper?
Where?
I saw it.
Where do you go?
I don't know the answer, man. I'm sorry. They created a chaotic system.
I'm not from here. I just want some answers and not be fucking rude to you.
He was rude to you, right? Yeah.
It wasn't nice. I want to go find some place to find my girlfriend. I mean,
is she in jail?
Yeah.
Did she assault somebody? Did you hit somebody?
None of your business.
Oh, you guys had a spat. So it's a domestic. And so they have to take her to jail.
I wasn't going to press charges, but she did this, so I walked away.
Of course, apparently his girlfriend smacked him, and so he walked away, and the cops came, and they mandatorily have to take you to the dungeon in any domestic dispute. And this is across the nation, not just in Nevada.
Dispute. He just said she smacked him. That's assault.
Where the fuck is she?
She's locked in a dungeon right now. And just so you know, they'll keep her for at least 8 hours. The way the jail system works is that...
She's been in 8 hours. Where can I get her out at?
I did see
a... Billy, you're not doing anything to help the man. Just tell him you don't know and shut the fuck up.
The guy in the booth over there. You see that guy in the car booth over there? And listen, be careful, man. Their goal is to arrest you. So be very careful, okay, sir? There it is, folks. There it is. They arrested his girlfriend for assaulting him, for smacking his face. He has a little mark on his face, but he said he didn't want to press charges. But they arrest you anyway because they have to arrest somebody on a domestic. Because somebody could die if we don't arrest somebody. You're more likely to die here than you are if you're left with the person you're in a domestic with. Because often we see that women and men, when they are victims of abuse from a significant other in a domestic situation, as soon as they get out of the dungeon, they go back to the person. We see it time and time and time again, over and over and over.
Fuck you, Chili.
So we got 4 cars. Someone keep track of how many cars. What'd I tell you? Soon as the sun starts to go down, this place will just heat up. Someone else to the dungeon, someone else to the dungeon, someone else to the dungeon. How's it going in America? Is America a better place? Are things going better because we keep locking up so many people? Or are we locking up too many people, creating it so they can't get jobs, they lose their car, they lose their ability to take care of their children, they will lose kids because they get arrested. The probation system, the felony system, tell me about the felony removal program. Someone tell me all about it. Can you type down in the chat the felony removal program in your state? What's the 10-year felony removal program? Does anybody have that? Anybody know about a 10-year felony removal program? Have you ever heard of that? Me either. How come? Because after 10 years, you should be able to get the felony off your record. Because what do we know? We know that most crimes are committed by people, or supposed crimes, in their late teens.
You're not getting your felony off your record. You're removing the felony status to get some of your rights back. Like, if you might be able to qualify to have a weapon again, you get the right to vote again.
Carrie T.
Teens and 20s. As soon as you hit your 30s, your brain starts to change. See how aggressive that cop was with that guy? You can't be right here. So now what they'll do inside of here is they'll try to mock, they'll try to be disrespectful, they'll try to argue, they'll try to treat you bad, they'll treat you poorly. Oh, you watching my video, bro? I thought you guys didn't watch my videos, though. I thought you guys didn't watch my videos. I thought you didn't watch them. Last copper I talked to said, oh, the one said he did watch my videos. If you guys haven't been by my website, it's Delete Laws with a Z, Delete Laws with a Z. Get that ebook, get the Indestructible Trifold, get a poster. Make sure that you know the laws inside and out. Did she give you a little help? Arkansas? She help you out? What's that, brother? I'm not sure. I'm more than welcome to walk with you, though. I'm trying to keep track of how many people are taking. Your friend just whipped a U-turn. He should be right back.
Thought you were gonna walk with him, Chili.
This is how you feel if you or a loved one is arrested. You feel alone, with no information. Your loved one's been kidnapped. You're trying to get them back. And if you go to the agency that arrested them, they'll treat you poorly.
Maybe he's just worried about the longer it takes, the worse it's going to be for when she gets home. He obviously doesn't know the mentality of a victim.
This is a perfect example of how you feel once you're assaulted by the criminal injustice industry. This is exactly what this man feels. That's exactly what it is. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody take your finger real quick and hit the like button. Just do me a favor, almost 500 people in here, hit the like button. Just take 1 second, reach down, hit the like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for the super chats. I didn't see them come in. We got another winner. We got another winner. There it is. 5 cars now in about 20 minutes. They got somebody in the back. They've arrested someone and have taken them to the dungeon. Congratulations, coppers. These people are now going to get an accolade. They get an attaboy. They get a little pat on the booty. Way to go, copper. You arrested another person. Thank God for you. You know, do you think this is making the world a better place? Is our culture better because of this? Put a 1 in the chat if this is ruining America. If locking people up for absolutely BS things is helping America. It's crap. It's crap. This doesn't help anybody. This hurts our system. This hurts our system. This is horrible. This is absolutely horrible. Tell you what, this is why there's so many people. Have you guys ever been in my comment section?
You have no clue what those 5 people they brought to jail were being brought to jail for.
Thousands and thousands of haters. And why? Because they're terrified I become governor and I change this bullshit system of oppression and tyranny. And I will. And I will. Because you only get one life. Well, I've dedicated the rest of mine to getting into a position of leadership from the top and changing it. There's no such thing as the grassroots effort. Pull up your bootstraps? What a lie. Every millennial knows. Pull up your bootstraps, they know it's a lie. They know it's a lie. And every boomer out there, you know it's a lie. You pulled up your bootstraps and you amounted to what financially? You amounted to what as far as success goes? Most of us are still poor. Hey, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I'm a peon myself over here. I've been to one of these places so many times that it has to change. And then inside of there, if you want to call your family, you want to call your friends, that's going to be $5 or $10 a minute to call somebody.
That could be part of your problem is being arrested so much, jackass.
Who cares? $5 or $10 a minute. Sometimes up to $19, $26 a minute. It's absolutely unbelievable. $20 a minute. I mean, someone can look it up. What is the actual charge in your state? Type it in there. Someone go onto their internet, go to ChatGPT, find out how much it is for you to make a collect call outside of your jail in Arkansas, in Alabama, in Florida, in New York, in Tennessee, in Alaska, in Ohio. How much is it to make a collect phone call from your local jail to call someone who will help you get out of this horrific situation? And then once they do, someone is going to come down. You end up like that football player coach from Arkansas, walking around mindlessly trying to find a way to get into the dungeon, to get your girlfriend out who you didn't want to press charges against, who was just drunk. She was drunk. She needed to go into a tank, into not because the drunk tank's inhumane. She needed to be separated from the situation so that she could then sober up and realize what she had done. Oh, we got another copper. We got another one. Another copper, successful. Congratulations, copper. Congrats. Congrats, officer. Way to go, man. You got another one. Way to go, bro. Making America worse. Way to go, dude. I'm glad you got him. Thank God you locked somebody up. Man, society's going to be a lot better now. Thank God you locked him up, copper. Thank God you got that person. Put a 1 in the chat if he...
You know, this is Las Vegas. I wonder how many of these people are just spending a few hours or a night in the drunk tank.
He's hurting America. If he's making the call, because this person's going to get out. The person that guy just took to the dungeon, they are going to get out of the dungeon. Do you think they're going to be a worse person or a better person when they get out of the dungeon? I'm just wondering, do you think they're going to be worse or better? They're going to be worse. They're going to be a lot worse. They're going to be so much worse. They're going to go through PTSD. They're going to be afraid of cops. They're going to dislike cops. Their wrists are going to hurt. They may have numbness in their hand like I do. They may get beat up in here. They might get a disease in here. I know a guy in LA who's HIV positive when he was RAPED inside of a dungeon and he was arrested for a traffic ticket. He's making America worse. But remember, that guy gets a bonus, gets a promotion, gets an accolade. He's a good cop. Everybody respect these guys. They're worthy of respect. Look where he took them. Look where that person is right now. You can't even see in the windows.
Yeah, because of privacy.
I literally just wanted you guys to see exactly what I'm talking about, is that there will be tons and tons of people taken here right now.
Witch of Heart.
Shock Professor, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, Witch.
Hilarious. You know, I talked to a person. There was a person who I talked to last year who told me they were on this mission. And since then, they've kind of lost their mission. Why don't you get back to mission? You said you were on a mission. Why don't you get back to it? Whatever that mission is, because obviously you're not a host and you're not a reporter and you're not a newsmaker. You are what you are. So you are what you are, kid. You are what you are. What's going on, Gloria? How are you? Good to see you. Just taking a look. Shock Professor, it's always good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you. Jeff hates pigs. Jeff hates pigs. Jeff hates pigs. So let's see. Do we have another person? It'll just be another moment. There'll be another person drug off to the dungeon. And then they'll get a public pretender. And that public pretender will make a deal with the prosecution for their life. The woman who was charged with the Arkansas football coach's girlfriend. Bruce, what's going on, Bruce? Someone, what is going on? Good to see you. Monkey Man, Butch the Original, what's going on, Playboy? Mr. Hans, what's going on, my friend? How are you? Nice to see you. Brucey, Victor, what's going on, bro? What is, oh, we got another one. I'm so sorry. We got another one. Successful. Good job. Good job, coppers. Another person being taken to the dungeon. What'd I tell you? As soon as it starts to get dusk, as soon as the sun starts to go down, another person going to the dungeon. We got another one. So
it's just going to increase as the night goes on. Size of the city, people in the city, tourist attraction. Go to a smaller city with less tourists, it is bound to be less people going to jail.
See me dressing down these jackboot thug Nazi pigs on the side of the road? It's because he gets a bonus, he gets a promotion, he gets a plaque on the wall. Did you know Officer Stevens arrested the most people this month? Yay for Stevens! Every single person he arrested went here. Every single person Officer Stevens arrested gave that person the worst day of their life. That's a fact, Jack. That's a fact.
He always makes a claim that they get bonuses and accolades and everything, but can't show any proof of such a claim.
Now you have to tell your family and friends you were arrested. And for the football coach's wife or girlfriend who smacked him he's still wasted. He said it's been hours. He's still wasted. She's still wasted. She didn't need to be cuffed up and taken to a dungeon. She needed to be taken to a place to sober up until she got better and she realized the damage she'd done to her relationship.
Yeah, the drunk take at jail.
And her own life by being violent against someone that she loves. She doesn't need a criminal record. She doesn't need to be charged with crimes. She needs a moment to sober up. She does not need to be charged and arrested. But see, that's the thing. It's their whole goal is to arrest you. That's their goal. Remember, these coppers right here, if they could run out here and arrest me right now, they would. They would love it. They'd be like, yeah, we arrested him. People who don't like me are like, lock him up. He hasn't committed any crimes, but lock him up. Well, he's not a criminal, but, he is pointing his finger into the eye of the dungeon masters. He is pointing his finger at what's wrong with this country, that so many people, if the reason why she got locked up, the reason why she got locked up is because someone's making money. The judge is making money. The DA is making money. The bail bondsman's making money. There's so many people making money off locking up a woman who smacked her boyfriend who's on vacation from Arkansas. That's what this is. This is a...
You don't lay your hands on other people, Chili. That's a crime.
Money-making apparatus. Someone's making money. Where's the money, Lebowski? It just goes over here. Just goes right over there. There it is, right there. There's the money. There's all the money. That woman who got arrested from Arkansas, there's the money.
Do you actually
put a one in the chat if I'm right?
Do you actually think there's a profit from the fines levied for any crime? I mean, there's not enough money generated to pay for the officers' time involved in making the arrest, not to mention the attorneys who have to prosecute, the judge, everything else.
Put a one in the chat if I'm right. Put a one. Oh, we got another one. Another successful arrest. We have another successful arrest. Good job, guys. Good job. Thanks so much. Thanks for ruining our country. Thanks for locking up so many people. God bless you. Thank you for locking up another human being, locking up more people. Put a thumbs up if they're ruining our country. If they're now we got a marshal coming. Oh man, right on. We got another person going into the dungeon. Got another one. Good job, coppers. Way to go. Way to arrest people. Way to lock people in dungeons. Way to go. Good for you. Good for you, coppers. Way to lock people up. Big thumbs up if this is horrible. They're locking people up around here, folks. I told you, every 5 or 10 minutes, there'll be another person being drug off to the dungeon. You think that many people need to go to a dungeon? Or you think maybe they need a timeout? Just think about that for a moment. If you've ever been arrested, did you need to be arrested or did you just need a timeout? Did you just need a minute to be settled down where you were literally forced to calm down because they put you in a place where you don't have the options to be in the same manic mode that you're in?
Time out. What are they for? No, they're adults with real adult consequences, not a timeout.
And that's part of my plan. That's part of my plan to change things as governor, to change things. And these people are deathly afraid of me. They're deathly afraid of me.
No,
the
they're
people who
not.
are the haters, deathly afraid of me that I'll end this police union garbage and make them get insurance, which would mean a third party would be the arbitrator between whether or not you could get your peace officer certificate or not. Because if the insurance company won't fund you and your badge, then there's a third party between the Fraternal Order of Police and the police themselves. That third party would be the insurance company, where if you couldn't get insurance, you could no longer be a copper. But the Fraternal Order of Police, they don't want that. They don't want to get rid of the bad cops. They want to have the power. That's why they're an autonomous organization that we have no power over. I'll change that as governor.
Oh.
What was that, Hank?
I said, oh, Lord. Another one of his if I were governor fantasies.
We don't stop. We don't stop. We don't stop. Drop that in the chat for me if you would, please. We don't stop. Let me read some names here. Let me read some names. I'm not a libertarian. I'm actually a registered libertarian. So I'm not a libertarian, but I'm a registered libertarian. I'm a registered libertarian, but I don't vote libertarian. I did. Hello, pot, meet kettle. I voted for a woman in the last presidential race, and she lost. I think she was a libertarian candidate. Mikey, what's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. Marcy, what is going on? Delete Laws Clips. Have you guys been over to the backup channel, DLZ Clips? I got Colin over there working hard on the Chevy. What's going on, Chevy? What do we got going on? Tim, what's going on? Tim Tracy, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. What is going on? Special Ed Andrew, what's going on, Special Ed? How you doing, brother? Marcy, I love Marcy, I tell you what. Marcy and I had a long talk when I was at the airport one night. She's great. P-Rex is in the hizzy. What's up, P-Rex? Good to see you, my friend. Groundhog Day. What's up, Groundhog? How are you, my friend? Good to see you. AJ, what's going on? Oh, man. I guess some people are getting timed out and blocked. I'm sorry to see that. I'll take you out of timeout and block you when I get off my live, but not till then. I'm going to be busy. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that. Wally World's closed. Oh, we got another one, folks. So here, it's now, what are we keeping track? It's about every 3 or 4 minutes. We got another one in the back of the car. And each one of them, just so you know, if you haven't seen it, each one of them, as soon as they see me, they grab their radio. As soon as they see me with the camera, they see me and they go, oh, we got a guy out here with the camera. He's outside of the jail. He must be trying to do a jailbreak. All you coppers watching, we are a non-violent movement with several pillars that are listed on my website about what our goals are. None of them are to attack or hurt police. None of them are to break into jails. None of the goals with this platform and this mission include violence of any kind.
Except to challenge every single cop that you have encountered into a one-on-one cage match.
Or even breaking the law. I'm not sure if you coppers watching noticed, but when that gentleman crossed over onto Clark County Detention property, I said to him, there is a line here that you can't cross. There's an NRS code that makes you a criminal if you do that. Well, first they have to give you a warning for trespassing, and then they can arrest you for trespassing. And you know what? That doesn't mean they can't detain you immediately. And what does detainment mean? Torture cuffs. They mean torture cuffs. That's what detainment means. Detainment means torture cuffs. We saw that with Jesse Sandoval, him torturing me and causing damage in my hand for the rest of my life, it feels like at this point. I wonder if my feeling is going to come back.
Bullshit.
It makes me angry when I think about it. Because I have a long life. I have a long life. Have you guys been over to my website? If you want to support what I do, go to the website, deletelaws.com with a Z. There's donation buttons on there, but I'd rather you got my trifold, my poster, and my ebook and educated yourself. Thank you for people who donate to me. I'm super grateful. I'm super grateful. I really am, because I only make it through people. That's the only way I make it. Without y'all, because, you know, as you know, this YouTube platform could go at any day. So we just have to just count our blessings while we can. Count our blessings while we can. What's going on, Claudette? It's good to see you. I Love Yahweh is here. Alan Hubbs, what's going on, Playboy? What's Maria? How are you? Good to see you, Maria. It's nice to see you. Hey, Harley, what's going on? Oh man, I'm so sorry to see that, Harley. I'm so sorry to see that. So sorry to see that. Oh, I said your name, Harley, and then all of a sudden you disappeared. Ah, man. Dog Creek, what's going on, Dog Creek? How are you, buddy? Yeah, Terry versus Ohio changed everything. It made a tyrannical police state, prison state, death state. So, I mean, anybody keeping track of how many cop cars have been in here in the last 15, 30 minutes? How many cop cars been through here? And each one of those cop cars had someone that they were putting in the dungeon. Have you noticed? Have you noticed how many cop cars are going in there?
Janice Farmer.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say Janice Farmer. You could do whatever you want, hon. Go ahead, Hank. I'm sorry.
Yeah, with the number of people in Las Vegas, Clark County, I'm surprised they're not having more people going through. Especially since Las Vegas itself is a city of drunk. I mean, there's so many people there on vacation just getting shit-faced drunk. Not even funny.
Well, the night was young yet. It was only about 8 o'clock local time when he was broadcasting. I'm sure it got worse.
My trips through Vegas, if people were awake, they were shitty drunk. Or a large number of them.
Carrie T, he was in earlier. I love you too, Janice.
Have you noticed how many people are being kidnapped from their homes, from the streets, from the business they were at? And what's the number one culprit? Alcohol. Number one culprit of all crime is alcohol or drugs. I mean, it used to be alcohol. It could be meth now. I don't know. But number one used to be, last time I looked it up, the number one way that someone got in trouble is when they were drunk or drinking. I don't drink alcohol. I mean, I'll have a drink on your birthday.
A lot of people do stupid shit when they're drunk.
Something, but nah, not very often. Not very often. There it is. There it is. What's going on? What is going on? All right, this is a pretty creepy little area at night. It gets a little bit interesting, I guess you could say. It gets a little interesting over here. I think my comments just turned off all of a sudden. Let me reset my phone here. Let me reset my phone just real quick, and I'll read off a few more names here. Just until another cop car comes by and drops someone else off at the dungeon. I mean, just think about that. If you're a cop or watching right now, all these people know that it's your goal to arrest us. You're not helping people, dude. If you want to help people, join the side of goodness. Join the side of truth. This is a lie. This doesn't help society at all. This makes our society far worse. If you're one of those coppers, get out of it. You know you've been thinking about it anyway. The cop above him hates him. The cop below him hates him. The cop above him fears him. The cop below him fears him. That's actually the policing industry. It's a horrible organization. Inside of the organization, it's even worse. It's horrible. It's horrifically bad. So someone asked a question, you should let wife beaters go free? Let me ask you a question. Is locking them up, let's play out your way. Let's play it out. Say a guy beats his wife, you get there, she's got a black eye, she got beat, okay? When you arrest him, you separate them, and instead of finding out if this guy beats women all the time, if he's just an abuser, or if he's just had too much to drink and he's got an alcohol problem, you know, we could find out what's wrong with him if we invested the time and energy into the person who beat their wife and into the woman who's been abused. But what do? We take them to a dungeon. They go to a dungeon. They have to get money to get out. He's sitting inside the dungeon getting more and more mad. He may now kill her. The number one way that women get killed is when they try to leave. So, and then the thing is, with victims of domestic violence, if you've actually looked into it and studied it, ever been a part of a crisis line, what you learn is that victims of domestic brutality. Oh, here's an undercover cop. Oh, he's got his lights on. Look at that. Got his lights. Flashed his little. So there's a Ford Escort undercover. He's got someone he's taken to the dungeon. Another person going to the dungeon. There they are.
So is it better to let him stay out of jail and not give her the time to get away? Is that what he's going with this?
Apparently.
Pretty much, yes.
What the fuck?
So let's continue to play it out. So guy goes to the dungeon, and now is it going to get better in their relationship? We're not going to put any time or energy into that couple. We're just going to lock people up and charge them with crimes and make him a criminal. And then it's harder for him to get work, harder for them to keep going because she's going to stay. They stay 99% of the time or some ridiculous number. And so we're not investing in people. We're investing in dungeons. For the person who said that, let wife beater goes. Yeah. I have a plan for domestic violence. I'm running for governor somewhere someday. So I have a plan for this. I have a plan. You have to have a plan. People just run for governor to be the top executive, and they don't have a plan to change anything. They're just happy to get the permanent pension. Do you know when you're a government representative, whether you're in the House, the Senate, the governor, you get a lifetime pension. Full salary. Did you know that? Is it full salary or is it 120% salary? I can't remember exactly.
Thank.
Gee, I wonder if that might be the reason why he wants to run for governor.
For the money?
Yep.
Chuck Bronson's in here. What's going on, Chuck? I have not reviewed, someone asked me, I have not reviewed any documents just yet. Oh, he's got nobody. How you doing there, Copper? He doesn't have anybody in the back. There's nobody in the back of his car. He's going into a different entrance. So, oh, right on. Mark gave someone a membership. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that. Soy Leo, Troy Hunter, what's going on? What is going on? What is going on? Yeah, that's right. So Dan Hanlon said that a lot of times the neighbor will call the cops not knowing what's going on because they just hear screaming and fighting. That doesn't mean a domestic violence, but then what happens is when the coppers show up, they have to arrest somebody because they got called for domestic violence.
No, that's
good
not
point,
always
Dan.
the case.
Thanks for saying that.
If they get there and nothing's happening, of course they're not going to automatically take someone to jail because there's literally nothing happening.
And if it's just a verbal dispute, they're not going to, they might separate you, but they're not going to take somebody to jail over a verbal dispute.
Rights On is in the room. Rights On is in the room. Good to see you, Rights On. Always good to see you, my friend. Make sure you guys get over there to Rights On and watch a few of his videos because he's on the verge of being able to get monetized over there. And it's not very much money from YouTube. It's just enough. But if you're a channel like Rights On, you know, that's great. So make sure you guys get over there and subscribe to his channel so he has enough subscribers to be able to get monetized over there. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Somebody who's just barely getting over 1,000 subs, they're not going to be, you're going to be spending more than you're getting back from YouTube. I mean, you've got all sorts of expenses for streaming. Need to make investments to be. Got to invest in a streaming service, whether it be StreamYards. There's a free version, but it sucks. You got to have decent sound system. You got to have a decent mic, decent headphones.
When I first started, I had an old camera and a horrible microphone.
Yeah.
Both of you, Jim, Hank, can you check private, please?
Sure.
Yeah, and then Jopanette said, "Don't open the door if the cops come." That's exactly right. But the problem is they can do all kinds of crazy things. Depends on what the jurisdiction is, what state you're in, what county you're in. Depends on what the criminal statute is for. So the Ohio State Revised Code is going to be different than the Nevada Revised Statutes. So, how you doing? All righty. Nice to see you, James. It's always good to see you. What's going on? We Don't Stop, the podcast by Mata. We Don't Stop. Anselmo. Thank you, Anselmo, for the super chat. Appreciate it, man. We don't stop. We won't, and we don't, because we can't. Oh, man, I don't know what you're doing here. I'm not sure what's going on over there. I don't know what you're doing here. Probably in the wrong page, bro. Phoenix Murder District, what's going on? Good to see you. Always and forever. I agree. All right. Are you trying to get someone out of the dungeon? Or you work here? Are you trying to get someone out of the dungeon, or do you work here? Oh, gosh. How many people do you think... You're not on camera. It's facing at me in case you want to know. It's looking at my face. Hi, guys. So, how many people do you think go arrested every day? 200 people a day are arrested?
Be easy enough to look up the
and
statistics.
the men and women both are come to this jail? A couple hundred people a day. Hey guys, how you doing? Some guys are waving from over here. Let me zoom in on them. Sorry you're stuck in there, fellas. How many people do you think are criminally insane? How many people do you think are actually nutballs that need to be put into a dungeon?
Oh, I'm looking at one.
Do most people go through the booking process, sit there, get processed through, put their fingerprints across, and then they get shuffled into there? So then that would not be a criminally insane person. A criminally insane person can't be a part of any structure. They're going to revolt any kind of controlled structure. And that would be mentally ill people for the most part. So, but most people are not criminally insane. You got in the prison industry, less than 5% of people are actually nuts, criminally insane that need to be locked. Oh, I'm sure there's some people who are mental here and there. I've been here for about 30 minutes, I guess, and I've seen maybe half a dozen cop cars come in with people in the back. And every time they see me, they get on the radio. This guy with how long you worked here? 15 years. Has anybody ever tried to break into the prison? Never. Has anybody tried to jailbreak out of this jail before?
I think before I was here.
Before you were here, before 15 years ago. Since you've been here, have you heard of anybody trying to break in here or anybody trying to break out of here? Not at all. Okay. I mean, that's what I thought. I don't, they have all these cameras and all these heavy equipment doors, but I don't want to break in there. No. I don't want to, put a 1 in the chat if you do not want to break into a jail. Put a 1 in the chat if you don't want to break anybody out of a jail. 1 for me. I don't want to get shot. These guys have guns. So why would I want to do that? You waiting for your Uber? You waiting for your Uber? I don't really film people who work for government. I only film cops, and I mean, if you're a crazy person, a-hole, then I'll have to film you. But for the most part, I don't put the men or women who work within the facilities on camera, because I get you're just doing your job. I wish you had a different job, but you're not evil, I hope. A lot of them are cop suckers. Like, these cops are good. Cops are terrible. Do I look like a criminal to you? Do I look like I run around bashing people in the face? I don't use any drugs. They arrested me a month and a half ago. I'm sorry, my math's off. 3 months ago in March, they arrested me for filming a cop. They created me. I'm not a criminal. I'm not going to attack anybody. If someone attacks you, I'll protect you. Thanks for your time. I don't want to bother you. I don't want to get you in trouble either, so take care. Man, it's starting to light up down here. Take a look at this. Ooh, man, it's beautiful. Ooh, that's nice. Take a look at that. Look how nice. Man, it's starting to get nice over here. Starting to get really nice. Man, look at that. Look how gorgeous. Beautiful, right? Man, so nice. Paradise dungeon. Dungeon. Paradise dungeon. The dichotomy is just so insane. I think we got another winner here, folks. I think we have another winner. We do. We have another winner. We got another person being drug off to the dungeon. We have another person going, and boy, they got the gate open quick. They're going in fast. They don't want anybody to see anything. Gates up, they're getting in there fast. Another person drug off to a dungeon. I mean, if this person's out of control, violent, hitting people, smacking people, attacking people, I understand people have to be arrested. How you doing there, Copper? Now, what's my crime? What have I done wrong? I've just showed you guys this is horrible. What is going on, Claudette? What's going on, Claudette? Victor, what's going on, my friend? How are you? I just wanted to show you guys how many people are drug off to the dungeon every day. How many people are shackled up like a pig and then drug off to a dungeon. How many people? It's a constant influx of people being arrested and taken away. You got another one? You got another one? Oh, that's the same copper. That's the same. You got another one. He's got another one. That's the same copper who I've seen. This is the same one who put his hands on me. This is the same one I saw the other night. Oh man, he got in quick. He got in quick because he doesn't want to deal with me. That's the same copper. Another person being arrested. Another person.
The only one that didn't get in quick was the one that you interfered with.
You guys aren't going to shake me. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep exposing. That's what I'm going to do. Your Uber driver sucks. 1 star. 1 star. I think that was the same copper. I got to get his name. Anybody know that copper's name? The one that I told the other night, don't put his hands on me. He knows I'm a journalist. You don't need to put your hands on me, bro. You know I'm a journalist. You know I have no violence. I have no plan to be violence. There's no revolution being planned. There's no attacks being planned. I have nothing to do with violence. But yet he put his hands on me, asked me.
Just because even if they give the fact that you want to be a journalist into the equation, does not mean that you're not capable of being violent. Jesus fucking Christ.
Do you have a knife? If I had a knife, why would I tell you? And then secondly, if I had a knife, if you're going to go attack coppers, you're not going to announce it. You're not going to go on camera in front of thousands of people. It's just the ridiculous training. Oh, they need more training, more officer safety. Now, if he gets drunk, gets whacked out drunk or on drugs, and he does something stupid, they're going to take him to jail. It's not going to make him better. It's not going to make him less of a drug addict. He's not going to all of a sudden reform himself because he went to jail. Reform through empathy and love, and you've got to be taught a new skill. You need more education. John Locke said, show me the character of a man and I'll show you how much education he has. If you don't know about John Locke, I teach about him all the time.
Finish crossing the
What's
goddamn
going on, partner?
street,
How's
you
things?
idiot.
I don't have any change, man. I'm sorry. I don't have any cash in my pocket, bro.
Even if he did, I don't think he would give any over.
It's nice, huh?
He looks so confused.
Make sure you guys get over to my website, deletelaws.com with a Z, deletelaws.com with a Z. Get yourself a trifold, an ebook, or a poster. Learn every single case on my trifold, on my ebook, and on my poster. There's dozens and dozens. The case I'm going to be teaching next is called Heenan versus North Carolina, 2014. H-E-I-N-E-N, Heenan versus North Carolina, 2014, that allows cops to make mistakes, and still, it's reasonable. It's reasonable if the cop pulled you over for no reason. It's reasonable he's searching your car, even though there wasn't a blinker out, there wasn't anything out. We got cherries and berries, so.
I'm not sure, Leo's mommy. Did he finish his fundraiser for Eric Trujillo?
No, it's at $4,000 or 4,096 or something like that. He just hasn't been mentioning it.
Yet in the middle of the fundraising for the wheelchair, he suddenly got $2,000 for a lawyer from somewhere without any other fundraising going on.
Riveting content, Chili.
Where you guys from? Where you from? Huh? Poland? God bless the Polish. She looks like a nice Polish woman.
What?
You asshole.
Why is he doing an Italian accent?
What's going on, Angel? How are you? Good to see you. I just saw you come in the room. My comment just came up. What's going on, Tim? Michael Poe, what's going on? Writes on. Mr. Hans, good to see you. Northeast Colorado Cop Block. Chevy. Sneaky Smurf, what's going on? Delete Laws Clips. I love Yahweh. Is that Clazy K? Is that what that is? Soy Leal. Johnny Vojo. Johnny Vojo. Johnny Vojo. Bruce, Butch the Original, what's going on? David Lee, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. So good to see everybody. Sig W, what's going on? How are you, Sig? Do you feel safer? I don't. I don't know, Marcy.
Chili's being drawn back to the D.
How long does he just wander around?
No, I'm watching it for me.
Jim?
Pretty much the rest of the video, except he does encounter a fan coming up. And then at the end, he talks for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. He's at the Fremont Experience, I believe they call it.
Why didn't he ask questions there? Or was it because it was a U.S. Marshal?
They're Vegas marshals.
Ah. My mistake. It's me skipping.
Yeah, there's a lot of copywritten
All the
music.
Nevadans?
There you go. There's his fan. Go back.
Oh, cool. What's up, man? I'm running live here. What's up, man?
How you doing, bro?
Doing pretty good, bro. What's your name?
Mark.
What's up, Mark? How you doing,
What's
man?
up, man?
You watching live, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool, Mark. Good to see you, man.
Hey, a question for me and all the Nevadans. How does the stop and ID work out here? Because they say it's a stop and ID state.
So the way it works is it's going to be Hibble versus 6th District or 7th District Court. And what Hibble says is that if there's reasonable articulable suspicion, you don't have to give them your identification. What you have to do is identify yourself in a way that they can identify you. So you can identify yourself as good citizen. And that's on my trifold.
Okay.
Hibble is on my trifold. I believe it's for 6th District or 7th District.
Wrong.
So Hibble, Hiibbel. And there's no such thing as a stop and
How convenient.
No, if they stop you, and if you're in a stop and ID state and they ID you, you've got to give them your legal identity.
Look at this guy's face. Like, whatever.
Looks drunk as hell.
Hmm.
Looks to be in that, like, I don't give a shit about anything else level of drunk.
ID state.
Okay.
You have to have probable cause for you to give ID. Now, they can say they're reasonably articulable suspicious of you, but that means you just have to identify with a name. I go by good citizen.
Okay.
So you don't have to give them your legal name or your date of birth or any of that
Bullshit.
nonsense. But people will tell you, oh, you got to give your ID.
That would be giving a false name to a police officer.
Uh-huh.
You don't. Unless, of course, there's reasonable articulable...
Chili loves to give out the information that'll get somebody in jail.
suspicion, then you have to give them the name you go by. Then if there's probable cause, then you have to give them ID.
Okay.
But there's no such thing as a stop and ID state. That's a lie.
Okay.
It's an absolute lie. It's not true.
Bullshit.
Okay. Fundamentally.
All right. I'm curious. I'm a little skeptical about how to encounter them because they say stop an ID and then they say
you just have to give them in Nevada if there is reasonable. So in other words, if the alarm's going off over here at a store and they say a guy with a gray hat ran out of here, that's reasonable articulable suspicion. They can say they identify the guy in the gray hat and there's an alarm going off. Any judge is going to agree that that is reasonable suspicion. Now you can say I identify as good citizen.
Okay.
But unless you have the stuff on you that you've done wrong, hopefully you're not breaking into places, but unless you've committed probable cause, a crime, you don't have to give ID.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Let me just get a picture with you on my
Sure,
phone.
go ahead, brother.
I don't know how to do this. Thanks, Chili. I'm Han Solo in the chat. If you ever seen
Han
me.
Solo. Oh, I've seen you before. Good to see you, Hans.
Have a good one, buddy.
Take care, brother. And Hibble is on my trifold, y'all. If you don't know the law, I have a bunch of Supreme Court cases. And once again, I'm going to say it again for people who haven't written it down or haven't looked at it. The one we're going to go over next is called Heenan versus North Carolina, 2014, that gives the cops a right to investigate you on a faulty charge, faulty suspicion, but it's justified. And that's an extension of which law? Terry versus Ohio, which is not a law. It's a policy created by the Supreme Court. So. Well, because of that music, this will be another demonetized video. I'm so used to it. Ask DLZ Clips. DLZ Clips, tell them in the chat. Let me see. Make all chats. All messages are now visible.
Not demonetized. They just get a portion of it. Extra. I'm sorry. They get the profit from it. Jim does say that there's not much left on this video.
Yeah, he's going to walk back to his car, and he'll talk a little until then.
Tell them DLZ Clips. That will be another demonetized video. Pretty much anything YouTube can demonetize for, they do. It's terrible. Because you should be able to make a living, but
might help
unfortunately, I have to make sure that
mic unmuted. Like, let's go ahead and call in this video.
Okay.
And get a little bit of a palate cleanse of some Epiphany's daughter.
Sure. Let me grab something. Y'all speak amongst yourselves for a few moments.
Was there anything worth watching of the Regan Benson live?
Remember, I didn't get to the actual good part till we started tonight, so I don't know for sure. It goes about 48 minutes. Probably could save it till tomorrow once we know more about it.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, the first hour is just her sitting in her car complaining about the rain and the Titanic submersible. And of course, DMA put his live on members only immediately after it ended.
It'll take just a minute, guys. Sorry.
That's okay.
Apparently, I'm the only one that can calm the baby tonight, so I am holding him with my left arm and typing with my right hand. And he is finally asleep.
Any word on Dan?
He's teething already?
Yeah, he's 2.5 months old.
Wow.
Any word on Dan?
Just 1 second. You speak amongst yourselves. I'm sorry.
Hopeville, yes, Dan is teething.
All righty then.
Sorry, I'm having internet issues. Can you guys bring up one of Epiphany's songs, please? I'm sorry. It's not allowing me to open up another window.
Let me see what I can do.
Let me do that. I'm going to bring Chili's video back up and skip forward a little bit.
Promote my store. Please go to my store, delete. I just wanted you guys to see exactly, you know, the obstacles that we're facing is that you're going to have a lot of people who are going to be on the side of locking people up and putting them in dungeons. But for the people who are on that side and haven't joined Team DLZ yet, let me ask you something. Is it better in your town? Is it better in your neighborhood? The more people we lock up? Every time you read in the paper about some homicidal maniac who goes and shoots a bunch of people, do you want to get rid of your gun? I don't. It makes me want to get more guns and more bullets because I want to be able to defend myself in the face of criminality or absolute tyranny. So that's the whole point. That's the whole point. I think I can make it across here.
Come on.
Vegas is beautiful in some ways, and then in some ways it's not. But that's all cities, I guess you would say. All right, well, I've been on here for a long time. I should get the flock out of here. But thanks for coming. I appreciate it. And now you know, it's something for you to think about. Is it better? Are things better? Are things better with dungeons? Is that what it is? Is our society a better place because there's so many?
I'm sorry.
Always have such a hard time finding Epiphany's channel.
Check Discord. I did send you the link, but I just wasn't able to bring up a video.
Dungeons, are things going better for us? Or does it make our society worse and more dangerous? Every time you lock somebody up who shouldn't be put into a dungeon because they're just drunk and they really just need a timeout. Maybe it would be better if we didn't do that. Maybe it would be better if we created a system where you didn't have to be criminally charged. Put a 1 in the chat if you've heard before. Oh, we're past that now. We're past that now. You ever heard that before? We're past that now. You ever heard a cop say to someone, oh, we're past that now? We're past what? We're past decency. We're past kindness. My patience is gone. Oh, I got cherries and berries, guys. I can't go yet. 1 second. I got emergency lights burning over here.
There was one more part in the chili video that I had forgotten about. It was basically him expressing how dangerous it was. If you wanted to watch the rest of it.
Okay.
Nice. So.
I just, if it was just him wandering around, it just didn't seem worth it. But if he's something worth watching's coming up, sure.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
We got cherries and berries blazing.
Why can't you stay on the sidewalk, asshole?
U.S. Marshal 4323, I think that says 4323. Got the emergency lights flying. Oh, is there an emergency? I'm not sure if there's an emergency.
Saying that you just thing that's going on.
Hey, can
Sorry.
I mean, you just walk up on the situation not knowing a goddamn thing that's going on, and so you don't know whether there's an emergency or not.
What's the emergency? How you doing? Just wondering what the emergency was. You got your emergency lights on. That's an emergency? Don't you have yellow lights? Red and cherries and berries means that there's an emergency. I mean, according to your peace officer standard and training manual that I read, that those are for emergencies. That's what I read. Am I incorrect? Isn't it in your manual that you're not supposed to run cherries and berries unless it's an emergency? Or you're in the act of investigating someone for reasonable suspicion or probable cause? That's just according to the peace officer standard and training in Nevada. I'm just asking am I incorrect? What, but yellow is just as efficient as red and blue, but red and blue literally mean an emergency. What's that? Yellow lights are for what? Because those are red and blue are police emergency lights. I know this because if you run red and blue lights as a citizen, you break the law. So I'm just not sure why. I mean, there's 500 people watching. I just want to know.
Because he's not a goddamn soft-sit like you are. Jesus fucking Christ, you idiot.
Another polite public servant, so polite, so kind. I mean, there's an opportunity to run yellow lights in the back of that as well. But if you weren't harassed in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s by cops, then you don't know why I'm asking him to follow the letter of the law. At least follow what's in the Peace Officer Standard and Training Manual. But that's why I asked him, because he'll gladly arrest you for an infraction of the law, but he so easily commits an infraction of the law. Oh, look at that.
It's a policy, not a law.
The law for thee, but not for me. I have to sign up to a peace officer standard and training, and then I have to pass that. But then once I become a copper, if I violate my peace officer standard and training agreement, the other coppers are not going to enforce that. They're not going to enforce if I kill somebody or not. So let alone if I violate a simple light policy. But yet, Terry versus Ohio is a policy created by the Supreme Court, not by the legislatures who are the representatives of the American people. I think we're that way.
So fucking lost.
Does he not know where he parks?
Poor Charlie stuck in the car.
I'm gonna stick with you guys just till I get through this downtown area here. As soon as I get past it, I'll cut out. But this downtown area after dark could be a little bit seedy. Can definitely be even though there's a lot of people coming around, there's also a lot of people with ill intent and cops. So you have to watch out for both of them. I think none more than the cops, because unless they have a gun, I'm not gonna be too worried about it. Or more than one of them. If there's multiple dudes, then it'd be hard.
There's multiple dudes, you'd be hard? What?
Thanks for stuff. So cool. Let's see if I can figure out where I'm at in relation to the Clark County Dungeon. Let me see. In relationship to the Clark County Dungeon, where I got to get back to here. One second.
What an alpha.
Okay, I'm going the right way. Yeah, I think I'm this way, and then I'm one street up.
Good shot of the alpha moves.
God bless, thank you.
Moobs.
I believe I'm over here.
Wonder if he rested his phone on his alpha fupa to get the alpha moves in.
Get it, bro. Get it. Hey, how you doing? Just a couple minutes away from Wapner. The flock out of here. Check that out. Pretty cool, huh? Put a 1 in the chat if you've been here the whole time. Put a 1 in the chat if you've been here the whole time. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Pro. Appreciate you, Pro Trader. Marcy, thank you. Thank you, Accolade. I appreciate it. Shock Professor Roxy. I love Yahweh. Thank you for being here. Cart, I can't see. I'm so sorry. Kurt, forgive me. I can't see very well. Victor, Melissa, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Angel, thank you so much. Barbara, thank you so much for being here. Alex, Bear Mama, run along, little doggy.
Thank you all for protecting him on the weight of his car.
Thank you guys so much. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. Really, it means a lot. I don't have any power without y'all. We, the people, are the power. I'm just the tip of the spear. I'm the tip of the spear against this injustice system. But there has to be the weight of the spear behind the tip. And you are the weight of the spear. You can't do what I do because you have a wife or kids or family As soon as you see coppers, you turn on your camera and you film them. You always film a copper. The moment a copper comes around, you film the copper. We don't stop. We don't stop. We don't stop. Every time I see a cop, my camera comes on and I begin to film the cop. That's how it works. Take care now. You take care now.
Yeah, they really heard that.
They know who I am. I'll be your boss, boys.
And he jaywalks as soon as
I'll be
they
your boss
leave.
one day, gentlemen. So get used to it, because I'm going to change it from the top down.
Was he trying to say he's going for the Nevada governorship now?
Maybe.
For all of my 1980s Saturday Night Live fans,
I'm looking for
coming to my
Charlie.
TED Talk. That's the news, folks, and I am out of here. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.
Wait, what?
Can we go back a few seconds?
Yeah, I didn't get the Saturday
everybody
Night
doing?
Live reference there.
I'll be your boss one day. For all of my 1980s Saturday Night Live fans, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. That's the news, folks, and I am out of here. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.
Okay.
All righty then.
Yeah.
Well, we've been going for 3.5 hours now. I think that's enough for one night. You got anything you need to put out, Jim?
Reallycoolsite.org. That's reallycoolsite.org. I'm going to have about 5 articles for the morning.
Alrighty. And Becca?
Thank you all for joining us this evening. See you next time.
Add the baby.
Yeah, he's starting to wind up.
Alrighty, well, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night with more. Talk to y'all later.